That's not right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back yet again to another edition of the COMICSGATE Commandos. This, ladies and gentlemen, will be, in fact, my last show until I go on sabbatical. People are calling it a hiatus, but that sounds kind of dirty, so I'd prefer to call it a sabbatical. Excited to be here. This is going to be a good show. For the record, when I do return, all the COMICSGATE Commando shows will be on Saturday. Even though, you know, we got people like Ethan trying to stream over us and Ballers later, and it's okay. It's going to be all right. What must needs doing must be done. So it is written, so it shall be done. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I'm very excited to be talking about, yes, back to the old schedule. That's right. The new is the old new, precisely. Well, I'm excited to have you all here for this evening. I got my Thing shirt, the one that Graham Nolan was posting about. I'll tell you, it's nice. It's a nice shirt. It's not the best, I would say, in the heat because it is made of like polyester. So it's like a plastic bag being on you when you're outside in the humid St. Louis heat. But if it wasn't so humid, I think it'd be a lot better. It's a nice shirt. It's a very nice shirt, and it really slimming. You know what I mean? But anyway, I've been out for 9 days. I'm out of it. I'm out of my game. Let me be saved by my co-hosts for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is in fact Colonel Carbonheart.
Yes, sir. We're back. The COMICSGATE Commandos. Hail General Q, Patty Q. I'm glad to see that you're back from your sabbatical.
No.
After 9 days of not streaming.
Oh my God, that'd be so stressful. Like if I woke up, you know, like when you wake up and or like when you have a dream where you're back in school and you're like, oh my God, I am not prepared for this shit. That's what that feels like.
Yeah, right. Those dreams that catch you off guard.
Yeah.
But no, yes, the break is still happening. And let me just mention it now that we will be continuing Commandos on my channel, the Carbon Heart channel, which is Carbon Heart 3365, not by my own choice, but by the powers that be. That's the the name of the channel that I have to use. But anyway, yes, I will be posting on Twitter X as we proceed in the coming weeks.
I'm going to be posting the link right now in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Please go to Carbon's channel there and like and subscribe everything he's got there. It's weird because when I made my announcement post, I went to your channel. I know it was your channel because it's the same red profile picture.
Yeah.
I copied the link and I posted it, and somebody was like, "That's the wrong Carbon Heart." But the guy's name was Damien Chaos, which is like what your Twitter handle is. So I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Like I was so confused.
Well, I recently found out that there is another Carbon Heart YouTube channel. It's a band that recently formed from England, and they kind of suck. But they don't have too much content on there anyway. But yeah, when you see the red logo, that's me.
So, but I know that this link that I sent there right now is the right one because it's 3365, like you said.
Yep.
So go check that out, folks. Subscribe. Carbon's going to be taking over. He's going to do a great job like he did that one time. I mean, it's been like a couple times now, right, that you've hosted the Commandos? I want to say.
2 times. Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
It'll be good. Well, you know, we'll have the usual roster, and we'll be talking about the usual stuff.
Speaking of the usual roster, thanks for that segue. We've got Frederick Guman. What's up, Frederick?
How you doing, Commandos? Nice to see you,
What's
General
up?
Q.
Hail,
nice
Frederick.
Carbon.
Did you just call him a Jew right off the bat there? Damn.
Wow, some projection there. I called you General Q.
Oh,
General Q, yeah.
I see what you're thinking about today. Okay.
You know, since you prefer the word sabbatical instead of hiatus, that does raise the question, Patrick.
We're learning a lot today already.
Oh, man.
The truth is coming out.
I come back and I'm going to be like, shalom, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the COMICSGATE Commandos.
I want to tell you, I noticed you got a thing on your shirt.
Yeah, yes.
Looking
This shirt's fucking awesome. I have to be honest with you guys.
orange just pops.
It does. It's a nice color, and like, I really like Hawaiian shirts, short sleeve shirts, especially if they've got pockets.
But you know what? Nobody
Ugh.
cares because this is not a fashion show. We're here to talk about comic books.
No,
and
it's not. But if I
movies.
can help the incel masses, you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, if Sturgis is watching this show, he
Start
needs
by
to know,
helping
like, bro.
yourself. You gotta go first.
No, see, the prophets always die alone. That's what happens. It's okay. It's okay. All right, let me introduce the chat here. Hold on a second here. We got Adam Weber. What's up, Adam? Nice to see you.
How you
We've
doing,
got
Adam?
Frederick right here with us, obviously.
How you doing, Frederick?
We got Art Haida here. Just got back from watching it. I'm glad you got to watch it before we do the review, Art. I'm glad. We've got the Squid. Hail Squid. Nice to see you, man. The Squid's one of those people who, like, he knows enough about me and he lives close enough to me that I could have theoretically already met him and I just wouldn't know. Like, he could like surreptitiously.
Is he like your handler or something?
No, he's just like the one person who understands my Missouri and St. Louis references. He knows, he gets it. And he knows enough about where we're at to, like, he could track me down and, like, meet me out in the wild easily if he wanted to. And then we've got, let's see here. We've got Catalyst Vault. Let's go. CG Commandos. What's up, bro? How you doing? See, I told you. Yeah, the humidity kills in this 100-degree. Yes, it does. It's murder. What I've been doing is I've been going out and doing runs, like 30-minute runs with a sweatshirt on to try to, like, habituate my body to this humidity. It kind of doesn't really
Apparently,
work.
most of the U.S. has been experiencing rough humidity in the last month.
Interesting.
Right? Like places you wouldn't even think. Like, I wouldn't think that St. Louis or even, like Chicago are places where you would experience like really rough humidity and heat, right? But
Oh,
I don't know what's going on.
well, to be honest with you, St. Louis is always it's the weather in St. Louis is like it's unexplainable. Like, literally, we've had, like, and this may not be weird to somebody in New York, but we've had, 3 feet, 4 feet of snow in, like, mid-April before. So St. Louis weather is really fucked. I think it's because of the Boeing factory. Personally, I think they're seeding the clouds around us, and that's what causes St. Louis to have such weird weather.
So you go through 5 seasons in 4 months, basically. Right?
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And, like, if you told me tomorrow is going to be like 47 degrees, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, what? But we live in St. Louis. I would just be like, yep, sounds about right. That's weird, but it makes sense.
And that was the weather report, everybody.
Yeah, that's right. How about that weather? Thank you. Wrangler's here. Whole lot of hola. What's up, Wrangler?
Hola, Wrangler.
See, he heard Jew too. See? So you called me General Jew.
I can call you that if you want.
No, please do not. Art Haida says, 3rd time's the charm, Carbon. The coup will succeed this time. Yes. Well, now I realize that JJ Trujillo's behind a lot of it. That's backstabbing son of a bitch. JJ Trujillo. Oh, we got Skeleton Core Comics. What's up,
in order
Scotty?
for it to be a coup, we need more numbers. So all you guys need to show up at the very least in order for it to be a fucking coup, guys.
That's true. You need to blow these numbers out the water. Oh, dude. Fluorescent. I actually kind of work up there, so. St. Charles, too. See, he knows all about it. He knows all the places. I didn't know you were a truck driver. That's cool.
It's probably a St. Charles River right next to where I live.
Really? So I do have a question for you, Frederick. I got everybody right. Oh no, we got Scribe. Hello, what's up, Scribe? Rosario.
Hey, Scribe.
How you doing, man?
Nice to see you.
So you said, okay, so Frederick, I guess we might as well start with you. Well, no, hold on a second. look, we can do lots of things this show. So let's do lots of things. I do want to bring up some things that people should sign up for if they have not already. This is going to be a big push, I think, that COMICSGATE is going to make for this. So you should sign up right now. Pit Volume 1 is going to be awesome. Dale Keown's handler, Mandy Summers, is in charge of this campaign. That's not like a negative comment I'm making. It's just it's just a joke. God damn it. It's going to be a great comic book. Obviously, it's what is it? Re-releases of the first 4 in a trade paperback format. So sign up for this, folks, while you can. And I don't know, when does it say it's going to launch?
Well, at the very least, I know
8/22.
that they talked about this being sent out before the end of this year. So I think their goal is that this is going to be shipped out, people getting it before the end of this year, which is cool. And also, a while back, I think they talked about, now I could be wrong about this, but the colors being somehow modified or updated, or something about the paper stock being different than the original. So anyway, it should be an updated version, I feel.
Yeah, well, we talked about it on the show, like the paper stock switch from issue 1 to issue 2.
And the colors.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Anyway, that's pending. I think there's something going on with that, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I had heard something about them having difficulty scanning the original files. I don't know.
Well, they lost the original file, so what they're doing is they're at least this is the best of my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're retrieving the art from the actual print comics because the originals were on old discs that were lost, I believe.
Oh.
So there's a whole story behind it, filled with drama. And
you know, like the elites have in their doomsday bunkers, they've got like those discs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like they've got the pit discs. When the world ends and they must restart society, they've got pit right there.
And previously on COMICSGATE Commandos, I was inking this beauty of a drawing by Mark Silvestri.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's nice.
Damn.
And, I finished it. See,
Wow.
I added my little signature.
It's very nice.
Thank you very much, good sir. So this is not a drawing it's not by me, and it's not by Dale Keown. This is a Mark Silvestri interpretation of the pit.
Mark Silvestri, never heard of him.
Yeah, known for Cyberforce. He's also my favorite artist.
Known for Cyberforce.
Why
he's
you
known
laughing?
for lots of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's known for Witchblade. Witchblade is probably the thing he's most famous for.
Okay, Arthide says the OG files are lost to ancient zip drives. They're going to scan the printed books and touch them up. See, that sounds really, really hard.
No, but there's modern techniques for doing that nowadays. So apparently there's people who specialize in that kind of work.
Well, I hope they do, because it'll be nice to see an updated version.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Witchblade says Stravy.
Oh, you know which one.
Nice.
You know which one I'm talking about.
I remember a Witchblade when I was I was a kid when I saw a Witchblade for the first time, and I was like in my brain, I was like, oh, how do I get more of these magazines? But I knew my parents wouldn't let me.
There's a comic and there's also an anime as well.
There's an anime too?
There is multiple seasons, I believe.
I just remember, what was it? White Dwarf is probably not the right one, but there was a magazine that came out that had that on the cover. And at the time, I was just looking for Fantastic Four comic books at Barnes and Noble, and then I saw that cover with Witchblade on it, and you know how she is. And I, as my 12-year-old self, was just like, "Oh, I guess I like women characters." So anyway, that joke fell flat. Let's get back to the show.
Right there, it was right up there with the Victoria's Secret catalog that used to come in the mail. That we would, we would check the mail first and then take it out of there and be like, "All right, this doesn't exist. I'm hiding it under my mattress."
Right.
We had the Sears catalog lingerie section.
All I had was Land's End. You guys got lucky.
Oh yeah, those hot chicks and those fleeces, those Zippo fleeces, man. Those chicks were fucking hot, dude.
The fleeces.
And the beanies.
Oh yeah, bro. Look, it was the summer edition you were always waiting for. You know what I'm saying?
Summer of beanies.
You're 100% right. That's oh my God. Okay, go sign up for Pit, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be fantastic, as you know. There's some other things that I would like to bring up. I don't usually do this. So for those watching at home and they're like, you know, if you've watched the COMICSGATE Commandos enough, you know that I don't, generally speaking, I don't advertise for the biggest people in COMICSGATE. And I've been thinking about that recently and like, why do I do that? Why is that? I think it's for two reasons. One, they already get so much advertisement as it is from their YouTube channels. But, you know, that's their effort they're putting into them getting advertising. And we, on the COMICSGATE Commandos, we advertise for everybody, you know, in COMICSGATE. And so I thought about that and I was like, I really don't talk about their books all that much. But then also it's another thing where when you're a smaller creator, you don't want to seem like you're sucking up, you know, like you're brown nosing. And I'll be honest, that's a big portion of that for me is like, I don't want to seem like a suck up, but really when you take it like, okay, logically speaking, if we advertise for everybody, smaller and medium-sized creators, why wouldn't we do it for the bigger guys too? So we're just going to do a big creator advertisement before we get into all the meat of the matter today. Let's see here. Bigger creator. I think you'd probably hate me calling him a creator, but now we've got, this is another really cool one that's coming out here. The Cyberfrog Universe prequels. So we've got Frog Meets World #1 and 1993, The Diary of Heather Swain. And so
Yes,
you guys
sir.
can pick these up here. Go ahead, Carbon.
I was actually going to bring this up also, so I'm glad that you did. Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's an active campaign and it's a great campaign, and yeah, look, we're gonna promote everything that's active. You know, doesn't matter how big or small it is. But there's some great covers on here. This one right here is probably my favorite.
I love Deathfly, dude.
For the Diary of Heather Swain.
Honestly, if you guys have Warts and All? Do you guys have that one?
I do, yeah.
I have an original of the old Harris series, but I don't have the Warts and All.
But you know the Deathfly story.
I do not.
Oh, dude, you got to check out Warts and All. That one, like, this is honestly, that's still to this day my favorite story that Van Sciver's done with these characters is the Deathfly story from Warts and All. I just really like that character a lot, and I'm glad he's bringing him back.
Awesome.
So yeah, we got this cover here. We got this is the Kelsey cover here, right? This is the Kelsey Shannon cover.
Yeah.
Boy, see, the things that people say about Narwhal being good at is what Kelsey Shannon's actually good at, and then also he's like good in general. And then we got this cover here.
This is actually a great cover. You know, I wouldn't expect to like something like this, you know, because it looks clearly like something designed for obviously teenage girls,
yeah,
or like teenagers in general. But it's very well done. It's so well designed, and the coloring's awesome, and especially with the contrast with Anne O'Malley being so. I mean, not only is she goth, but like he captured the mood so well of her really being this like kind of angsty chick, you know, with the cuts on her thighs too.
Yeah.
If for guys who have known girls like that, who actually did cut themselves, and the whole mood and everything, it's like this is very accurate. So
it's
yeah,
very 90s.
Yeah, I bought this cover too because I feel like it's just gonna be valuable for sure.
It is, well, like you said though, it's very like it's not your traditional comic book cover, you know. It's more like a like you said, like a YA kind of novel cover. And also, by the way, Heather Swain is wearing a rosary around her neck. That's not a regular cross necklace, folks. You can see the little beads on it. So confirmed, Heather Swain is actually Roman Catholic. Obviously going off against the Satanist Anne O'Malley over here. Naturally, that's how it would have to be. This one reminds me of that.
Scott Campbell.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for saying that, because I was like, oh, who's that artist's name? Yes,
That's what I'm
exactly.
here for.
Exactly. Scott Campbell. This is like a Scott Campbell cover right here to me. I don't know. I like probably. I mean, I think this one's the best personally, because I love the Deathfly.
Well, I agree with that. I mean, overall, it's the best cover, but a couple of the others are good too.
No, none of them are bad. I'm just saying, like, you know.
Oh, there's also the
favorite.
24-hour one, which is not available anymore, though. I'm not sure if he's
Do they have a
even
picture
showing
of
it.
that still?
I guess he took it down.
Okay.
It was the one that had Ben Reilly on the right, drawn by Ethan. It was pretty cool.
Which, by the way, is really funny that he calls that character Ben Reilly. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah.
For Spider-Man fans out there. Look at that. Just a classic picture of Cyberfrog. Very cool indeed. So yeah, folks, you can get everything for $190. There's a bunch of different tiers here that you can go through. An individual issue is $25. And does it say how many pages these are? I mean, some people they don't care because it's Ethan Van Sciver's art, but I don't think it specifies. 32 pages. I love that. It's just like at the very end there. It's just like so yeah, 32 pages for $25. Very nice. You guys can go check this out. I'll post the link right now in the chat. And yeah, check that out at your leisure. I haven't backed it yet, but that's mostly because of my money's real tight right now as I print and ship Phenomenon 2. So I have to just be very careful about what I'm, spending money on for the next month or two, I would say. But hopefully this campaign will be open long enough for me. Because I do pretty much have everything. Other than Rainbow the Brute, I have everything, or I've backed everything at the very least that Van Sciver has done. So yes, and then one more thing, because I want to talk about this because it's on Fund My Comic, and I always like talking about things that are on Fund My Comic. You can get CG Master Racers right now on Fund My Comic. This is only $4,000. We need to get this to 10 minimum $10,000. There's a Salamandroid. We've got Rainbow the Brute. We've got this Pit one right here. So if you're excited about the new Pit launch, then grab this one as well. Only $12 for these things too. These are like highly collectible. Vizpiz, awesome. Fearsome. Now that's gonna be sick. That comic is gonna be balls to the wall. Then obviously the classic Cyberfrog, and you got the Heather Swain one. Got a bunch of different options for you guys. So go check that out. We need to get this to 10. I know he's not really focusing on it, but this should be minimum $10,000. So yes. And then one more thing I want to talk about on Fund My Comic, because it's coming out now, it's getting into people's hands, so they're going to be talking about it. Silence Do Good, Electric Dreams. This is the time travel agent, this Ben Franklin, going back in time to essentially prevent the world from getting into an AI dystopia like we currently live in. So this is our good friend Salty. Go check this out, folks. On Fund My Comic, we're only at $186. I would like that to be at least $3,000. We only got 3 backers. Let's go on this. Come on, guys. I think too, once the reviews come out for this, once it gets into people's hands, that once it comes into people's hands, that they're going to be very excited about that.
But this book is also on a couple of other websites, right? It's not just on Fund My Comic.
Yes, Indiegogo was what it was originally on. I think that one's closed though. If I'm not mistaken.
All right, yeah.
So
yeah, because I'm like, all right, yeah, more people back this already.
Yeah.
So
think it
I
was like-
recommend this as well. This looks very good, and the cover that Sean Salty drew that has the glossy finish. I don't know if you could find that on here.
Yeah, the kind of holographic or
one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's a great cover.
I think it sold so well that everyone who ordered the normal one is getting a specialized version. I
Yeah.
think
That's
he
correct.
reached a certain milestone, didn't he?
Yeah, 10,000, and then now everybody gets this cover A in holographic or metallic or something.
That's fantastic.
I don't know the exact phrasing for it, but it's going to be shiny.
Hollow foil, maybe.
Yes. Awesome. Very fantastic stuff. Let me say hello to some people who are in the chat here who I have not said hello to yet. We've got Black Angus. He says, loved the film. He's talking about Fantastic Four. Good. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. We've got Stray Beans. Holy smokes, he says. Hello, Stray Beans. How are you, man? And then we've got Katie Did. Hello, listening while at work. That's not acceptable. You have to clock out and get in your car and start listening. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I really wanted to talk about. Hold on. Sorry. See what 9 days does to you? It gets you all out of whack.
Imagine a couple of months.
I know. It's going to be fun.
Are you going to come back like with a long beard and looking disheveled and like you just came on from the streets?
I should grow my beard out. You guys would be shocked about how fast my beard grows.
You should do
If
a
you
Ben
give me
Grimm.
2 months,
No,
it'll be out to here.
Yeah, we've seen it like kind of half grown out. Yeah, I can believe it. And who knows, man? After a month and a half, you could be a different person. You know,
Yeah.
you come back with a naked chick on your lap. You know, with a beard growing out, smoking a cigar.
That's right.
You got to
It'd be
bring back
amazing.
cigars. Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, so let's get then into the meat and so I'm trying to hold off on talking about Fantastic Four because there's lots of things that we could talk about. Lots of stuff has gone on in the past 9 days. And so I'm curious if you guys have anything that you would like to bring up that we have not addressed that needs to be addressed in the past 9 days. That's a no. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you know, since
That was the most like pregnant pause we've ever had on this show.
well, I was debating whether or not to bring these things up, you know, because
Why not?
but since you're
My
not
last
going
show.
to be on stream for a while, there are some pertinent issues. I mean, we do have to mention we've lost some legends: Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
and my favorite, Malcolm Jamal Warner,
Who's
the
that?
black actor from the Cosby Show.
Oh,
He was one of my favorites.
I'd never heard of him before.
But
We'll see it.
no, I mainly focused on Ozzy and Hulk Hogan. Yeah, passing.
Dude, the Ozzy Osbourne story is like, it sounds almost like a gift from God himself, that like God let him live long enough for him to do his farewell tour as he wanted to and say goodbye. And then it's like, all right, it's done now.
I saw Ozzy live.
When?
Oh, it was like maybe a decade ago, maybe more. It
Was
looked
he-
like he was on his last show back then. Even then, you know, because he would like stagger to one end of the show. He'd have like a bucket of water he'd throw to the crowd. But I mean, his heart was into it, even though his body had a hard time, you know, keeping up sometimes.
Mhm.
But he still had the rock and roll inside of him. I'll give him that.
Well, apparently he must have known. I mean, I have heard of some men in their elderly age kind of anticipating their death, and you know, like within weeks of them passing, saying that like, you know, that they knew that their time was coming. And I think that was true with Ozzy, because him doing that show, which was called literally, it was called the last Black Sabbath show, you know, he must have felt that his time was coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
But it is pretty amazing that he was able to do that show before going.
How can you like get to that level though of like specificity with how soon you need to do something before you die? You know what I mean? Like it seems miraculous to me almost.
Well, I feel like you can only, I mean, obviously I don't know, but I feel like men who have been there at that point have a condition. Like maybe he had a condition in which it was starting to deteriorate. Like if a guy has cancer or something, I feel like they can tell more so, because they're like, okay, this is declining rapidly, like it's coming soon, something like that, you know.
What did they say he actually died? Was it just heart conditions or like?
I don't know. I mean, he did have Parkinson's.
Oh,
so maybe maybe he was declining. Yeah, maybe it was worsening significantly over the past months. I could see that being the case.
Skeleton Core says Ozzy's life was like a movie, and in the next 2 years we're gonna get these Hollywood representations of Ozzy Osbourne's life, and it's gonna be played by fucking Timothy Chalamet or some faggot like that.
Adam
God,
Driver.
I hate Hollywood.
I could see Adam Driver playing Ozzy in his black sweatpants with no shirt on.
Ozzy,
walking.
When they asked him who he wanted to play him in a movie, he said Denzel Washington.
Please, oh my God, that would be the only like acceptable version.
We also had some bad news about the lead singer of U2, Bono. Apparently, he's still alive.
I saw that as well. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Bono is still kicking and talking. So
wait, what happened with Bono?
They found him alive.
Yeah.
There's no news. It's just that
he's apparently in really good health and will live for a long time.
Alive and kicking, the son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's the terrible news.
Well, the other thing, Patrick, that we haven't talked about is the fact that now we've all become jaded on politics, because we now know that Trump is not going to be releasing the Epstein files. That whole denial that occurred in the past couple of weeks was pretty pathetic. And so now I feel like everyone has become disheartened on being into politics anymore, because they're like, okay, I can't trust anybody, so fuck it all. I'm not going to talk about it. Right? That tone has come in.
Yeah.
I feel. Yeah.
Well, so there's those people who go like that, and then there's other people. I'm just going to say it because I really like these people who are like, oh, the list wasn't ever really important to begin with. It's just a distraction. Like, oh my God, people, are you so blind to your own like subservience to the state? Are you so blind by your own like desperate desire that the people who are in charge are like good, holy, upstanding, upright people? You're so desperate for that you're willing to take this thing that not even 2 weeks ago you were like, where's the list? We need the list. We got to get the list. And then one guy is like, it's not that important. And you're like, oh yeah, yeah, it's really not that important. Like, we've got other issues that we're dealing with right now that are much more prescient and important to us. It's so cringe and so sad. These people who I've seen a lot of people just shut up and not say anything at all because they're waiting. Maybe they think, maybe the Trump administration is going to do something like they're playing a long game, like a 4D chess kind of game. And then there's these people who are instantly becoming like Trump simps, like Trump administration simps. They're just like, oh, well, they told us it wasn't that important. It's like, you're the fucking kind of slave that the elitists love. They love spineless people like you who are incapable of being like, oh no, actually they fucking lied to us again. Now the question is, what can we do about it? There's a different answer to that question, but my point is, like, these people who instantly go from like this is an important thing that we need to get. And then they're told by an authority like, no, it's not important. And they're like, you're right. It's not important. We should stop focusing on it. These are the people who deserve to be slaves. And I mean that. Like, you deserve to have a master over you. And you do. You've chosen your master. And that's the way it ought to be.
This time around, though, I feel like that specific group you're describing is the minority overall. Because, for example, like, you have the entire left, right? Which is taking this opportunity to attack Trump and his administration by saying, "Oh, you see, he is a scumbag." So they're all claiming that they care about it, right? So they're overzealous.
Except they didn't care for the past 4 fucking years when their president was in charge.
Exactly.
See, that might actually be the 4D move right there, because by acting the way he's acting, he's getting the Democrats to get riled up and asking for the list to be.
Which may be. It may be.
But within the right, though, I feel like the group that's being appeased by that excuse and saying, "Oh, no, it doesn't really matter. It never really mattered." I feel like that's the minority of the right, because, I mean, honestly, the right is more intelligent than the left. They just are overall. And they're more sensible. They know about the fact that Epstein was convicted. So it's a fact that, the island exists. We know that the flight logs exist. We know that there have to be perpetrators, right? So I don't see many people on the right openly saying, "Oh, no, this doesn't matter." I feel like it's a small group going, "Oh, yeah, no, we're going to follow Trump, blindly and not give a shit,"
Like super, super. When people talk about cult-like MAGA types, they're talking about these people. Now, at the same time, you guys, you might be right that this is like the 4D chess move to get the Democrats to beg for the Epstein list, so that anything that happens, any name on that list, it's not Trump's fault. The Democrats wanted it, which may be the 4D chess move. But I'm not a fan of 4D. Like, personally, I'm just like, I don't like this whole 4D chess thing when the truth is the truth. And what is that? Sunshine is the best disinfectant. This is what we say in COMICSGATE, isn't it? Like, just sunshine. Just show it. Just
I thought we said grab a whore.
Put everybody. Yeah, no, that's slightly different from what we were saying. You're close, Frederick, but not
Listen,
quite there.
I'm new to this. I'm trying to keep up. Okay.
I'm just like, these people who are pretending like the people on the Epstein list is not important, like it just doesn't matter in the long run. You people are either the dumbest people on the planet or like the most cult-like. Like, just stop making decisions. Stop voting, please, for the love of God. Stop voting. You do not have the right to make decisions for other human beings. If you think that the people on the Epstein list, to know that those people are pedophiles, is not important. If you don't think it's important, then just stop talking. Just go away. We'll take care of it. That's fine. But if you're going to get in our way of bringing this up and demanding that these people be known, gosh, I get so mad about it, because the thing about it is it's like this. The human species, it's sad because this is the way the human species is and has always been. And it just makes me sad realizing that, coming to that realization as an adult, that like, really, most humans are slaves and they desire to be that way. They desperately desire that somebody else solves all their problems and gives them comfort and gives them pleasure. And they don't want to make any hard choices in favor of liberty and the truth. And so I am incredibly judgmental about those people. I don't even tell you guys exactly how I feel. I'm like holding back how I feel about those people. But anyway, I'm sorry. You see, you brought up a subject that you got me riled.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot more people like that on the globe than not. I mean, you think about the populations that are concentrated in Africa, India, and China. These are all people with, sub 100 IQ. They're pretty much automatons. They're worker bees. I mean, they're close to animals, and I'm not even being insensitive.
No, I think you're true.
That, and volume-wise, their population density is in the billions. Like, they outnumber the U.S. They outnumber intelligent people like significantly. So I'm actually an optimistic person, and so by saying this, I'm not trying to sound pessimistic, but the majority of the world is people who are not that bright.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a saying like, how dumb the average guy is. Well, by definition, half the population is dumber than that.
It's actually more though, because if you look at the percentile, it's more like the 90th percentile is the average IQ. So it's scary.
The worst part about this whole situation is, Catalyst Vault here says, give me the actual physical evidence, which is not a list of names, but video recordings. Yeah, you're right. The worst part about this is that this evidence has been in the hands of people who are controlled by or copacetic towards these pedophiles for so long that at this point, I don't think we'll ever get anything from anybody on anybody ever. Like I think that this has been, it's been in the system for 4 years, the corrupt system for 4 years. You're never getting it. That's really the end. I mean, like, it sucks to say that, but like we had our chance. We had our chance.
Or we're the people who are most aware of it. And now the masses are slowly waking up to this fact, like slowly but surely. And we need the masses to be ready for this kind of revelation.
I don't think they care, Frederick. I think that after this last thing, they don't care anymore. They don't care. They look at it as like a kind of like, oh, that's nice and all, oh, politicians are evil. Oh, tell me something I didn't know. And then they go back to their fucking Netflix and ramen and porn, and they don't give a shit. They just don't care. And that's how I am right now with humanity, is like all these conspiracy theorists who like desperately try to wake people up to the truth and desperately try to get them ready for the things that are going to happen to them. Like, because they ostensibly like want these people to like actually be happy and live good lives and not under the thrall of satanic controllers. Most people are like, no, what do you say? Like, you mean like I could, like, if I lived under the thrall of the satanic controllers, like, does that mean like I get a stimulus check? Well, that sounds good to me. That's what we're around. That's what we live with. Like, most people desire this. And so,
well, the truth is you can't really.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just feel like human beings are like, people desperately desire for the world to be made a utopia, but it will never be that way because nobody else wants that. Everybody else wants to be ruled. They want to believe their lies that make them comfortable in their physical realm at the moment. And so it's like you're fighting a battle that you've already lost. Like, and that's the beauty of the return of Jesus Christ, that like, even with all that, even with the entire species, most of the species going, oh, the truth? Yeah, fuck that. We don't care about that. We just care about pleasure and all this shit right now. Even with all of that, it's going to end up all right. And that's like, okay, please.
All I was going to say is that you can't really blame the general population for mainly being concerned with what affects them directly. Because there's so much noise out there in terms of, what you can receive through media and through news and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of time is wasted. A lot of energy is wasted on stuff that after a year or 4 years is not even going to affect you personally, no matter how much you yell and scream about it every day, right? You can argue with your family and your friends about something every day for 4 years straight and have those issues not even affect your life. And so then you look at it that way, it's a waste of time, right? So I don't blame people for only focusing on the stuff that's going to affect them directly when it comes to politics,
I do. I'm sorry. I do. I blame them. I think that I think it's like this. you will receive in the end what you gave. And if you never cared about what the truth was, then when we talk about in the Bible where it says that like it is harder to reach the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. Now I understand why. Because people just don't care about what the truth is. They just don't give a fuck because they're too busy concerned with their survival shit right now. And we can say we don't blame them for being concerned with survival shit, and that's all well and fine, but God will. Like, whether you like it or not, like you like, oh, I need to put food on the table. That's not a good enough excuse for you to do the things you want to do or ignore the things that are important in the eyes of God. I personally don't think that it is. It would seem an unjust God who would allow those people who actively chose to not care about the truth in favor of comfort or, comfort of mind. Like it would seem to me to be an unjust God who would allow those people into the realm where everybody lives in perfection. I guess that's how I look at it. And maybe that's very judgmental of me, but I think I'm going to hell too for the stupid shit that I'm doing.
Well, in this specific case that we're talking about, though, in the context of, the Epstein files and choosing to be upset over it or choosing to move on and accepting the fact that there's going to be corruption there, that there's nothing that we can do about it. I mean, look, even beyond this whole Epstein thing, there are things and atrocities being done in the shadows that we have no idea about, right?
Yeah.
We're smart enough to know that. And so I'm not saying turn a blind eye and that's all good, but I'm saying, being practical. I don't blame anybody for being practical and kind of being a pragmatist and saying, I know that there's nothing I can do about this. I do care. I want the truth to be revealed, but there's some things, some pills we're just going to have to swallow.
I understand that. I guess what I'm saying, we can never really know what's in people's hearts. But what I would say to you is that I think that most people know like that this is important, but that argument for practicality comes in and they go, well, we live in the quote unquote real world, the physical world, where we've got to do X, Y, Z to keep surviving, keep living. And so instead of, bro, I mean, like if the martyrs of early Christianity thought like that, then Christianity wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I live in the real world, man. I got to deny Jesus because I live in the real world. I've got a wife and I've got kids and I got to feed them and I got to put, food on the table. That's where we'd be. But what is true and what is right and just operates outside of what you're comfortable doing or saying. Yeah. And I think a lot of people have convinced themselves that that's not the case. And so they feel very comfortable. Like, well, yes, I'm a Christian. Oh yeah. The Epstein list doesn't matter at all. It's like, that's not how that fucking works. That's not how that works. But
well, look, I mean, I agree that, in my own perspective, this damaged Trump's reputation. I am disappointed with his reaction and his recent cover up and pretending like it's a non-issue. That did disappoint me. And I think it damaged probably even a lot of fans of his, their view of him. So it's a very real thing still.
In fairness, though, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility that he is playing a 4D chess move. Considering the way the Democrats have reacted to all of this, like maybe that is what's happening. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, there's a bunch of people who, like, it'd be one thing to be like, oh, I don't like this at all. Maybe this is a play. Like,
it's unlikely.
I'm gonna hope that it is. But that's a better.
Let me tell you why.
Go ahead.
That's some nice wishful thinking, but the reason why that's unlikely is because he's in power. His administration is in power. Pam Bondi claimed literally to have the fucking files. Months ago, it was straight up I have the files. I'm preparing to release them. They did that stupid stunt with some online
binders.
influencers with the
Yeah.
dumb binders. Oh, we're gonna release it in stages. They messed up with this, and then for it to be brought up and Trump to go, you guys still care about this? No, that's not
That
4D
was
chess,
cringy.
dude.
Yeah.
That's not 4D chess, bro. You're in control. Pam Bondi has the files. You guys are in control. There's no 4D chess needed. So
Mhm.
you just revealed that now nothing's gonna come out. It's all gonna be squashed. That's what's happening now.
Yeah. I mean, and it's another one of those campaign promises. That's, I think, most important for Trump.
Didn't
If we're
Ghislaine
just-
Maxwell like come up, propose to reveal some of the names now from jail?
She's gonna die really soon. I'm so sorry. They're gonna off her real quick. She's gonna get Hillary Clinton fast. We'll see what happens, but that was actually a really funny meme though that I saw that like Ghislaine, it was, I don't know what picture it was, but it was like Ghislaine like realizing that she's in prison now for nothing, essentially. Like, oh, I guess I didn't do it.
She trafficked children to nobody.
Right.
It was all a hoax.
I mean, I just look at it from the perspective of like, look, all of history rhymes with itself. Before we had old gods who ruled over us and did whatever the hell they wanted pleasure-wise, and we worshipped them because they were actually probably physically vastly superior to the average human. And then we also worshiped them because they allowed us to engage in activities that we would feel normally guilty about because of natural law. And then Christianity came about and wiped that entire concept of God being a king over you off the fucking planet. And instead made, oh, so by the way, the God of the universe has decided that like he's going to sacrifice his entire life for you. He's going to go through the worst horrible pain. Not that you need to sacrifice to him. You don't need to give him, hearts of people or heads of people. You don't need to give him your women. He's giving to you everything he has. And so that destroyed this concept of the physical God over humanity, like gods rather. And so now they've got to go this other route where like the fact that the thing remains though, that these people, these quote unquote lower G gods, they only receive their power by the complicity of the masses, and the masses are complicit. They've just decided, okay, I want this one thing in my life, so therefore I will accept these lies and this bullshit about all of the rest of society so that I can live in this certain level of comfort. So at a certain point, like, I'm mad that the Epstein list will never be released, but then it's like, was that ever like a possibility? It was never a possibility.
Months ago, I told you it was never going to happen.
You were right.
I said it was never going to happen. And then it looked like it might have recently. And so I was starting to get a little hopeful, but then I was still skeptical. And then now it's like, okay, I was right. This, back to the original thought, it's not going to happen.
Right.
But I think we should move on, though, and talk about Fantastic Four before we...
Well, let's talk about one other subject before we get into Fantastic Four. That's a hard switch.
Well, I mean, time is marching on.
It's only been an hour. Here, let me show you guys. Oh, I see. You got plans. I want to hear your
not
opinion.
at all. But an hour in, like,
Yeah. No, I want to hear
this as talking about Fantastic Four. Yeah.
You're right. I want to hear your opinion about this stuff here, which just came out. I actually haven't even watched it yet. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Wise man told me once, fear can kill you or inspire you to action.
My son, when you take my place, it'll be your duty to always be ready for battle.
What are those?
White people!
Your hands control the power of destiny. What I want is gold.
Impossible. We have strict rules in place that forbid this.
Rules are rules.
Slaughter them all!
Are you all right? Where's your father? I'm going to stop Cortez. I want you to train me to become the greatest warrior that the world has ever known. What else do you require, my lord? Fear. Even with all of your training, I still can't defeat them. If only there was somebody who was stealthy.
Oh, thank God.
Find that bat and that cat. Put your trust in me. Cortez must stand and face my vengeance.
Not vengeance, but through sacrifice.
You've been given a sacred mission. Whether you accept it or not, it's the truth. Tell us, war leader, what are your orders? Attack!
This summer, Batman is going to defend child sacrifice.
Yeah, this is the,
so
the
dumb.
big topic right now. A lot of people have been talking about this in comics.
So does Batman win and push back the white people from Mexico?
So
Oh
let me
my
show you
God.
something briefly related to this.
Like,
Because
to present the Aztecs as good guys in any way is, oh my God.
no, it's woke essentially.
Literal demon worshipping, human sacrificing fuckers. Like, they're the good guys.
When I first saw the trailer, it immediately reminded me of this comic that came out about 10 years ago, The Return to Bruce Wayne.
Oh my God.
Which was a mini series. And as you could see, that's Bruce Wayne dressed in, it looks like he's in a primitive setting, pretty much prehistoric man.
Uh-huh.
And like dressing up as an actual giant bat head around his head to intimidate his enemies. So this mini series was actually pretty brilliant. But the focus of it wasn't the primitive setting. Actually, the whole concept is that Bruce Wayne was transported by Darkseid. There was in Final Crisis, he had a confrontation with Darkseid, who used the Omega Beam on him, which actually transported him into the past. And so anyway, Bruce Wayne has to find a way to return to the present. So that's the concept here. But obviously, visually speaking, I think this inspired the whole Aztec animated movie,
Uh-huh.
which is not good because of the fact that it's woke. They chose a political spin in which he sides with the Aztec people. He sides against the colonists, which is retarded.
Right.
But
I mean,
it's funny though.
Go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry.
Visually, it had potential though, because when I saw it at first, for the first few seconds, I'm like, oh, cool, they're going for like this, Batman in the past concept, which at its core, it's not necessarily bad. It could be well done, but then the fact that he's choosing sides with the natives against the conquistadors is a problem.
Yeah.
And
that is a classic woke thing. Oh, the colonizers, they're so evil. No. The people who came before, the people who were there before them were vastly more evil. Did they wipe them out? Yes. Yes, they did. And well, they ought to have. The things that these people did, and I use people sparingly when we talk about like the Aztecs, the things that those subhumans did to one another, and obviously it was because of their demon worship, their Nephilim demon worship. Like, it is so horrendous. One of these things, like one thing I hope, I wish, and I beg God for, is that when these people who think that these things die, that they are put into the life of a conquistador for 1 week, just so you can experience and see what the Aztecs did. And then maybe you can decide for yourself, you know, were these Aztecs like good people or not? Man, I'm on a fucking, you got me heated with the Epstein thing, and now I'm on a fucking tear here.
So I have a question about this Aztec Batman. Why are they like putting faith in a leader that's a male that's going to purport, you know, push the patriarchy? Why aren't they being saved by a woman, Batwoman?
Well, of course, you saw Catwoman there, though, didn't you? Of course, he needed help. He needed help from a woman.
I don't know. It seems like they're still pushing the patriarchy.
It's foolish. I mean, like I said, when I saw the fact that they were putting Batman in a different historical time period and a different setting, that I didn't think was bad. But
No.
when you think through the plot, though, it clearly falls apart.
I mean, it's like if you made Batman a Gestapo agent, and you were like, yeah, Batman,
yeah, exactly,
hunting down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. No.
Yeah, he's not meant to be a part of either side. You know, he stops crime essentially in a state that is in a relative, you know, stable point. And so clearly in the middle of a war, you can't really put Batman in the middle of a war because he's going to be ineffectual.
Yeah. Very, very cringy. Oh my God, that was so cringe. God.
He's supposed to be a crime fighter working in you know, in anonymity at night.
There was Gotham by Gaslight. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
That was good. I liked that movie. It was cool. At least I felt so. And that was a historical version of Batman that I was like, yeah, this works.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess what I was trying to say in better terms is that being a vigilante, his whole purpose is to stop crime in a state in which he's not going to have to take sides of one country versus another, or one side versus another in a war. Batman doesn't do that, so that's a huge problem with this Aztec story. And clearly, the whole anti-colonialism is so ignorant and retarded. And I agree with you. The whole romanticizing, the natives of Central America. They were savages.
Yeah,
all tribes. As a matter of fact, there are still tribes to this very day that are savages in Africa and even in South America.
Yeah,
in the jungles of Brazil, there are actually still tribes that are alive and they function, and they're complete savages. And these ignorant liberals who want to pretend, it's all peace, love, and understanding. As a matter of fact, it happens.
Could be astronauts or doctors.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Every now and then it happens, though, where you'll have some ignorant fools going to visit these people and they end up getting killed or cannibalized, fucking eaten. So, yeah, that still happens.
And it's fascinating to me that that it works. No, see, there we come back to the subject of most of the human species being almost retarded. That it works on people, that kind of propaganda. Oh, they were just a peace-loving people. Like, that's just that their culture was incompatible with evil Christianity, and so they wiped them out. And it's like, oh my God, the savages is the best way to describe them. I mean, they are so close to being subhuman that you have difficulty trying to figure it out. And for us to eschew that knowledge that we have about lesser cultures is a Marxist technique for sure. And it's also a very anti-Christian technique. I mean, because
Yeah.
really Christianity, like, and we've talked about this before on this show, where, you know, it's not like this color of your skin or anything like that. It's just like the religion your culture believes that leads you to do certain things. And if these people weren't savages, if they had not been savages, then they would have been at a higher level of civilization, which is the opposite of savagery, that the white man was from when the white man arrived. If they weren't savages, then when the white man showed up in his fucking boats, these incredibly intellectual and, you know, spiritually advanced folks, they would have not acted the way that they did towards the white man, or the white man would have not acted the way he did towards them, or call them savages. I mean, the very idea is laughable. It's like, so you have one culture you have two cultures that developed completely separately from one another. They end up meeting because of the efforts of one of the cultures, which has technologically advanced and civilizationally advanced. They meet up with this other culture. That other culture is nowhere close. And then you think, okay, so why is that the reason? And the modern leftist goes, the reason is because the white man showed up and took their culture away from them. And it's like, no, you fucking retard. If their culture, if their religion was of any value whatsoever, they would have already been at the same level as the white man when the white man showed up. And God damn it, you guys are fucking making me rant about everything.
This topic reminded me of the fact that currently on the planet, there's an actual island that is the most indigenous in the entire world, in which all of the people of this island have preserved essentially their savage tribal culture. They have not been colonized. They have not been affected by any people surrounding them. It's called Sentinel Island, and it is in the Indian Ocean. It is south of India and Bangladesh. And this is an island in which there has been no influence by people outside of it at all. So they're essentially they're savage men. They're dark skinned. They're very tanned. They still use spears, and anyone who's attempted to come and give them gifts, they were murdered.
Nice.
About 10 years ago, there was a missionary Christian trip where they were going to attempt to spread Christianity. They were all killed.
Hey, at least they're sticking to it, man. You got they kill everybody, right? Here's what you're saying. Everybody who comes, they kill. That's actually kind of rad. Like, at least they're not leave them.
Kind of sick.
Then leave them alone. It's sick. I'm just saying.
No, but the fact that we have people living today who are that primitive, though, is crazy. They've received no technology at all. Like, they're living thousands of years in the past, essentially.
I think we should send somebody there to introduce them to COMICSGATE, though.
We should. I'll go, baby. I'll convert them to Christianity. They'll all become Roman Catholic. The whole country will become the Roman Catholic country of the world. Sentinel Island. That'd actually be a sick name for a country. We should go do that. Oh my God. Okay, I got to take a piss real quick. I will smoke a cigarette, so it'll be about 7 minutes. Carbon, take over for a minute, and then we'll talk about Fantastic Four. And also, don't talk about this, which I've noticed. Don't you think I haven't noticed what you're doing over there? Don't talk about that till I come back. I would like to talk about that. So, give me 1 second. Here, I'll share this, and Carbon, can you control things that I share, or you have to share it yourself?
No, that's not possible.
Okay, I was gonna share Rise of Pain number 2.
Throw a video up to give me some time.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we can pee as well.
Well, ask no further, because I have literally the perfect video for the folks at home right now. I've been trying to show it to people. Nobody seems to care about these at all. Maybe I just suck. It's okay. It's all right. But I actually thoroughly enjoy these, and whether or not you guys like them, I think that there's some of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. Where is it? And I think it's actually, not to be biased, but I think it's really well done. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me play for you issue. What is this? That's the first one. So where's this second one? I want to play for you these. There it is. I made little videos. Good gracious. How embarrassing, because it's not bringing me the second one. Okay, so we're going to play the first one then. I made little videos of the Fantastic Four. Like, it's very 60s retro style, like Hanna-Barbera style. You know, it's got the World's Greatest Comic Magazine is the series that it was a part of. Fuck you, G-Dash. And also, nice to see you, bro. You're very rarely here anymore, so nice to see you. Who's my, because of your new boyfriend? Who's my new boyfriend? Now, if you're talking about Brittany Venti, she first of all is a woman, and I'm pretty sure she's got a vagina. And secondly, she certainly has some personality, if you know what I mean.
Apparently, Patrick is over Brittany, though.
I am. I'm kind of over her. After Chicken and Cheese Hamburger Girl came out, nothing makes me on ya. I love that girl so much. I can't get enough of her.
You've seen better, so
it doesn't
now
matter. It's just,
no,
yeah.
no.
Oh,
What
you
I'm
mean with
saying
Brittany,
is,
you're saying
you've been exposed to better, so now there's no going back.
that's right.
You're done with Brittany.
Now I've seen what a real woman is like. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that move. It's time to move on from Brittany.
She had some cute posts recently.
It's a shame.
You know,
It's a shame.
it
She's
is.
hot, but
Are you talking about the post where
She's
she
hot.
would like to spit in people's food at her workplace?
Bro, you have no idea how close I was to being like, you can spit anywhere you'd like. But somebody else posted that, and I was like, I can't be unique.
Well,
I say something else.
I hate to break it to you. I
I
don't
was
think
so
that
close.
I don't think that post was gonna do any good, to be honest. So
No. But at this point, I'm in bully mode. Like, I don't care what she thinks of me or not, because like
No, I saw the guy who did.
not that interested to be honest with you.
I saw
So
the guy
like now
who
I'm
made
in the
that.
position where I can just say whatever the hell I want. You know what I mean?
But I saw the guy who made that post, Patrick, and he's
Yeah.
now dating Brittany. They're together and like
That
they're a
son of a
wonderful new
bitch.
couple. They're like hand in hand and on the side of the beach with long walks.
you know, you want to know the true
Oh my
true
God.
meta of what fucking works on these goddamn websites and social media are these fucking guys posing as photographers and like social media, content creators,
Ugh.
contacting these girls and being like, "Oh, let's do a shoot," and like I'll do like a set with you.
Oh, it's so
You know what I
gay.
mean?
I thought
Doesn't
that
it
doesn't
get
work
gay, though?
anymore with
No,
the age
I've
of
seen
cell phone
it
cameras
work.
and all that.
I've seen it work.
It may work, but
With
it's like still
no, but
gay.
with multiple hot, like among the hottest women too, like like social media influencer girls. You get these guys who are like, "Oh, I'm a content creator. Let's collaborate," and then they meet up, and by
then they
doing
use
the
their
photo
humor
shoot,
to win her over. Is that what you're saying?
no, just by doing the photo shoot and taking pictures and shit, and like getting views, like that's how they win them over, and like.
Is it just me or
It
is
works,
Carbon's mic popping a little bit? Or is it
I
Okay,
don't
am
on
I?
my end?
I don't hear
My
it, but I
bad. I
do
just
hear you
lost
kind of
my
going
audio.
in and out, Frederick.
Anyway,
but-
play the video. Let's
Yeah,
take a commercial
okay.
break.
So, folks, this is the World's Greatest Comic Magazine. All the voices in this version of it are me, and they've been edited in certain ways. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll be back in about 7 minutes. The fabulous FF face their greatest challenge ever in the Baxter Building Besieged. After facing a host of carbon copies of their deadliest foes, the Fantastic Four return home to a riotous reception that would make a rollicking rock star green with envy.
Reed, someone must have alerted the press to our arrival.
You can say that again. It's a whole swinging soiree. Out of the way, crumbums, before I bounce you clean back to Yancey Street.
Smile for the cameras, Crystal. I want everyone to get a good look at the Human Torch's best girl.
Go on, back off, Charlie, before I clobber the lot of you.
What's the matter, Benji? Pressures of fame too much for our ever-loving blue-eyed idol of millions? A shot! Someone's firing at us. Flame on!
All right, who's the wise guy?
Spread out. The shooter must have blended in with the crowd.
Yeah? Well, he'll blend in with the pavement once I get my mitts on him.
I'll create an invisible force field.
It's no use, Reed. I can't make out anything in all the commotion. But even as they continue their search, a hidden device observes our heroes' every action. For, according to plan, another miniature mechanical menace buzzes through the darkening sky for the FF's home in the Baxter building. Within instants, it darts through an air vent and into the headquarters of the world's greatest super team. Tiny circuits whir and click as every inch of the Fantastic Four's home is researched and recorded by this strange device, and then automatically transmitted to its secret point of origin. But suddenly, computerized anti-espionage mechanisms built into the Baxter building isolate the small-scale spy and eliminate it. Only time will tell, however, if they have acted in time. A short time later, Reed Richards turns his attention to weeks of neglected research and analysis. I dare not upset the others, but I fear all the time we've spent away from the Baxter building recently may have made us more vulnerable to attack. These next few tests will either confirm my suspicions or...
Reed, you've been working non-stop. Take a break and eat something, darling.
Oh, I'm sorry, Susan, but I can't slow down now. This shouldn't take long, but I have to finish my work here before I even consider anything else. It's gone, but that's impossible.
Is it really, Reed, darling? Or are you simply too involved with your gadgets to remember your loving wife is the invisible girl?
Of course not, dear. I always do routine checks on our instruments and weapons. I guess I got carried away. Watch it, sis! One irascible orange-skinned orangutan coming through!
Johnny, what on earth?
Come here, you loudmouth little creep. You want to act like an overgrown, spoiled brat? Then I'll put you over my knee and... Hey!
Johnny Storm, Benjamin J. Grimm. I thought the two of you had grown out of this kind of behavior. Can't you see Reed's in the middle of something important?
Aw, geez, Susie. It's not like he didn't ask for it. That flame-brained brother of yours was blaming me for letting that sniper get away at the airport.
Calm down, Ben. I understand the two of you need to blow off steam once in a while, but Susan's right. I can't work with these continued distractions.
Why? You afraid we'll foul up the new baby-changing contraption you're cooking up for little Franklin?
Okay, that's enough. Both of you, get out.
Thank you, dear. Now I can get back to wondering, who sent this? Even as the man known as Mr. Fantastic ponders this latest perilous puzzle, we turn our attention to a secluded location in upstate New York, where a team of technicians work feverishly to prepare for a fearful new mission. Hurry, hurry! All must be as the master instructed. There is not a moment to spare.
Now take your places on board. The time has come to report to the master.
All is in readiness, Excellency.
Of course it is. For such is the will of your mighty sovereign. Such is the will of Dr. Doom. Now, after months of careful preparation, it is time to claim the victory denied me so often in the past. The triumph I should have tasted when last I held the Fantastic Four within my grasp. And, lesser powers though they may be, only a fool would fail to heed the lessons wrought from even the narrowest of defeats. Only the most misguided of miscreants would deny the potential for shaping future glories from past mistakes. You have your orders. See to it they are met. Leave me to further ponder what lies ahead. It has been a long time since I have made my home on foreign soil, but this base has served me well in past endeavors. And after that last unholy conflagration, I refuse to see my beloved Latveria scarred anew by those I hate most. Only out of my regard for the welfare of my loyal subjects did I spare the Fantastic Four when last we met. This time, I shall harbor no such concerns, for plundering a plenitude of my incomparable scientific creations. The time has come for the Fantastic Four to pay.
Meanwhile,
Shake a leg, Stretcho. Sheesh. What kind of guy tells his partners to hustle down to the garage and then waltzes in late himself?
sorry for the delay, old friend. I had something to attend to. But now we're going upstate to visit Franklin.
Reed, that's wonderful. But why didn't you say anything? I could have called ahead to let Agatha Harkness know we're coming.
I thought it would be more of a surprise this way, dear. Buckle up, everybody. Next up, Whisper Hill.
But once the fantastic car is safely in the air, it immediately attracts attention of a most unwanted kind.
Even after having traveling in inhuman-made crafts, I can't get over how amazing your fantastic car is. It only took a few seconds to put the city behind us.
Aw, come on, Chris. As our 5th team member, you should know that everything from amazing to unusual is our specialty. Speaking of which, wait till you get a load of Whisper Hill. I think Bashful Benji, to name just one, would attest unusual doesn't even begin to describe the place. Look out! The fantastic car is being ripped apart by some type of energy blast.
Sheesh. Did you think we'd miss that if you didn't broadcast it for us?
But even as our confounded heroes plummet toward the ground below, another fateful incident is transpiring. A strangely shaped ship descends upon the Baxter building. And then, from within the mysterious craft, legions of savage servo guards emerge. In a matter of moments, the home of the Fantastic Four is thrown into chaos. As though possessed by a single mind, the unfeeling servo guards lunge forth into the FF's home, leaving brutal destruction in their wake. At that moment, a second ship descends upon the celebrated skyscraper, carrying with it a quartet of Doom's most loyal emissaries.
You have your orders. Carry them out. All of Richardson's hardware must be accounted for.
Meanwhile, in the air above a wooded glen several miles outside the city, Susan, I can guide us safely to the ground, but Ben is plummeting like a rock.
Don't worry, Reed. I can do something about that.
Hang on, Chris. I've got you.
What a revolting development this is. Another couple of seconds, and my whole blamed hide is going to be covering the countryside. What? Some kind of invisible cushion is keeping me from becoming an orange omelet.
You're right, Ben. Susan created a flexible blanket of force beneath you to break your fall. Johnny, scout ahead and see if you can find out what we're up against.
Hey, why come old Flamehead always gets to fly out of earshot while the rest of us get stuck listening to you?
How can you talk like that, Benjamin? There's something terrible behind this, and Reed's just trying to get to the bottom of it.
Big deal. So we're in danger again? Just point out the Joker trying to whoop us, and I'll blast them back where he came from.
It's not that easy, though, Ben. Whoever's behind this is actively toying with us from afar. What's more, we probably haven't heard the last of him. I have to confess, I'm not at all surprised by this. I was analyzing some debris caught in our security systems earlier, and noted that a highly advanced spy device was among the refuse.
What are you saying, Stretch? Someone's been watching us? What gives? You usually ain't the type to hold out on us when someone's looking to clobber us.
Once again, old friend, it's not quite that simple. I wasn't certain we were under the threat of attack until now.
Oh yeah? And what gave that away?
This is serious, Ben. If I'm correct in assuming who's behind this, we need to return to the Baxter building immediately. And, speaking of the Fantastic Four's HQ,
The Master should be pleased. We've retrieved all of his stolen inventions, even his time machine. If the Fantastic Four survived our earlier attack, they'll return to their fabled headquarters to find instead a smoldering disaster area. We must leave at once, but first, have you carried out the last of the Master's instructions?
of course, the FF will find more than a charred wreck when they return. I've arranged a special surprise for them, one that will demand their immediate attention.
Excellent. Then let us depart.
At that very instant, many miles away,
Johnny, my darling, is this the way it will always be? Separated one moment, and then plunged into one danger after another the next. Crystal's right, Reed. When will it stop? Will we ever be able to simply relax and spend time with our son?
Listen to them. They long for a normal life. But how normal can things ever be for someone who looks like me?
everything will be... We're back, ladies and gentlemen. At least I'm back.
I'm back. How's my audio?
It's good.
All right.
You're good. Yeah, I'm back.
My computer overheats after about an hour, and it kind of kills the audio at some point. I keep like a ice pack underneath, but it's only good for about an hour.
You got an ice pack?
I've got 4 ice packs, and I alternate in the freezer. So when one's melted out, I go and switch ice packs.
Are you serious?
Of course, I never joke about these things.
I can't tell. You actually like put an ice pack on your, like, that isn't,
It doesn't melt and affect the electronics.
Well, no. See, I'll show you. It's like these are kind of like ice packs meant to put your food on the dinner table to keep it cool, like cheese and fruits and stuff.
Plateau refrigerateur.
Cooling board. So
Tablet.
it's a cooling board. So
That's cool.
yeah, well, by definition.
Got him.
There you go.
I could use the fucking ice pack on my head right now.
What do you mean? From my
For some reason, no. All of a sudden, there's like a heat wave that just descended upon my area, where there's like some like barometric like force field. It's like Sue Storm put on a force field in the area. You know, dude, I don't understand the weather anymore. Like, have you been looking at the temperature versus the humidity? It doesn't make sense anymore. There are days where like the temperature drops and the humidity is still really high, but then like it's all right, forget it. Fuck the whole thing.
I think carbon is overheating.
Forget. It's going to take too long to explain.
Somebody get him a cooling board.
We got to get like a whole, like a cooling suit for Carbon. By the way, Carbon, I thought of you. This is going to sound super gay. I thought of you when I was in bed this morning.
Oh,
wonderful.
Right?
Wonderful. Were you dressed yet? Were you clothed?
No, I was just wearing underwear, bro.
Where were your hands?
Well, this one was up here. This one was like down here. Anyway, it's because I was trying to sleep and these fucking, it sounded like motorcycles just like revving. And I was like, shut the fuck up. It is 8 a.m. Stop your, like, I get it. You want to race. It's 8 a.m. Shut up.
Yeah.
It got me so mad. Oh man.
Dude, they've been making motorcycles louder and louder lately. Like, it's no joke. I've told friends of mine, they're like, are you exaggerating how loud this thing is? I'm like, dude, I've heard a motorcycle at midnight once that literally shot me out of bed. It sounded like hell just ascended from the ground.
Yeah.
How
You
loud
guys
this
really
fucking
hate
thing was.
freedom, don't you?
Well, speaking of freedom, we'll start with you, Frederick, because usually we start with Carbon. So, Frederick, let us know. How did you feel about the new Fantastic Four movie?
Yeah, it was all right.
And you saw it in French, right?
Yeah, so I was like, how can I have less Pedro Pascal in my life? And then the idea was like, well, if he's dubbed, at least I don't have to hear Pedro. I just have to see Pedro. And it turned out it was a good choice. You also get rid of the Marvel humor. And the Thing was perfectly dubbed, man. The Thing was dubbed the way you expect him to be. He sounded gravelly. He sounded like authentic. He sounded like in the cartoon you just showed us in the dubbing. So the way you grew up hearing The Thing is the way he was dubbed in French. So there was a lot of good things about seeing it in French, of course. Now, I loved the movie. Was absolutely beautiful. I think it's a spectacular film, except when Pedro's on screen, of course. I really liked, like, the Thing was the best part of the movie, followed by Johnny Storm, then Franklin. But and like the most spectacular parts was whenever they were dealing with Galactus. That was peak. That piqued my interest. That piqued my attention in the movie. I did, however, have some issues with it. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I think it's a good movie. I liked it. It's good, not great, though. There's some things that could be improved. And I think it's mostly with the editing. A lot of the editing I found was kind of repetitive and lacked a sense of direction in the beginning of the movie. I found myself in a lot of scenes thinking to myself, okay, can we get it moving, keep it moving? Can we get to the next thing? Because it's got a very slow pace until you get to the action. Then the action is really good. I had no issues with the female Silver Surfer. To my surprise, I expected that I would thought it was going to be like kind of woke. I thought she worked very well. Most of the characters kind of worked really well. I'm not convinced by Pedro. I'm just not convinced that he's a straight man. He looks like he looks like a doofus. He does not look like the smartest man alive. You know what I mean? Like, he does not look like a hyper intelligent character that would invent all these things that would kind of lead. He just looks like Pedro, man. He's just like kind of like a funny, kind of likable, bumbling idiot. So I find his casting was probably the thing that irked me the most, but it did not ruin the enjoyment of the movie. I still think it's the best Fantastic Four film we've ever gotten. It's been such a problem property since day one. Like, all the movies they've tried to do have like had major issues in one way or the other. This one has gotten it so close to being perfect, and a lot of things in the movie are perfect. But yeah, it's not a perfect film in and of itself. There's a few issues, mostly with the pacing, with the editing, and the casting. But if you can look past those things, you're going to have a good time. You're going to have a great time. It's an enjoyable film. And I think, like, because I was like blown away by Superman, and the fact that Fantastic Four is this good as well kind of makes me feel like we're in a new era of superheroes where they're getting rid of all the woke stuff. Family was front and center with this. They had a super good dilemma. I don't know if we're going into spoilers or not, but the dilemma.
We will. Yeah, we're in spoiler territory now, folks. So if you don't want to know any spoilers, I'm sorry, but we can't really review the film fully without doing spoilers. So
the dilemma that Galactus gives them between, sacrificing Earth or their child is a powerful one that works really well to move the story forward. It's a real choice. It turns everyone against the Fantastic Four because, like, why won't you just sacrifice your child and save the whole world? Like, it's an easy choice for people who are not in the family, right? So that worked really well. The script works really well. It's an overall good film. Like, I really enjoyed it. It's beautiful. It's kind of set in this nebulous past. It's got elements of the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 90s. When I say 90s, I'm mostly talking about the computer stuff because none of that stuff was like out there in the 70s or 60s. But it takes all those things and puts it into a nebulous past that never existed. But I think it's got that charm that we need for the Fantastic Four. You really feel like family is at the heart of it. Even if I dislike Pedro Pascal's interpretation of Mr. Fantastic, the superpower was well done, which is probably not an easy thing to do. An Elastic Man on screen like that, it was really well pulled off. You don't see a whole lot of it, which is probably a good way to go about it. You only see it when you need it, even if it's a minor touch here, like him stretching to write his calculations on the board. A slight stretch that's barely perceptible, but you could see it. It's funny. Galactus was imposing. He was magnificent. The Silver Surfer, I don't know what her name is.
Shalabal.
She is awesome. The way she surfs around in space is incredible, although it's kind of hard to believe a spaceship could travel through a vacuum without being torn apart to bits. You got to suspend your disbelief and just, ride it out. So recommend it. Just don't expect it to be a perfect film. It's a good ride. It's an enjoyable film.
When you talk about editing issues, can you give an example of that?
Yeah. So we saw a little bit in the reel that you're playing. You cut to like old 16 millimeter shots of them, like Ben Grimm before the transformation and all that. And they drop that in there, and then they drop it again another time. And it seems like they're kind of drop in these things at different moments that don't always feel relevant to when they're dropping. So it kind of feels like we're going back and forth to with those elements, and the pacing is just slow because it's all kind of things that are happening slowly around the dinner table, family issues, which is kind of normal in the beginning. You got the build up, but there's so much of it in the film that I feel you could probably have edited some of that out to make a shorter film, and focused more on the action, because the action is spectacular. They really do shine. And I'm not saying get rid of everything. Obviously, a lot of that is set up that we need for the payoffs. But I did feel like they were dragging their feet on certain scenes, and they were bringing back a lot of the scenes, like they're when they're all the family is on the show, like feels like a night show, a nighttime show.
Mm-hmm.
You see it, and then they bring it back later, and then they bring it. It's like, it's kind of like once we've seen it, we should be able to move on. It's not relevant to bring it back. I think it kind of drags down the pacing because of the way they just bring it back in ways that are not impactful, especially towards the beginning. Like, it's okay to have it in the beginning and then have it at the end as a kind of closing up the loop, the parentheses of those presentations. But the way that it dropped them a couple of different scenes throughout the beginning, I thought kind of bogged down the pacing a little bit, which could have been improved and had they moved along a little bit faster.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about it before you end your section of the review?
It's just absolutely beautiful, man. It's such the design elements they put into it. It shows the work they put into it. There's a lot of love into it. It's a spectacular film. I'm glad that we finally got a great Fantastic Four film.
What's your rating out of 10, Frederick?
So actually, let's specify this question. As a film, outside of, within the grand context of all films that have ever occurred, what's your rating? And then within the MCU, what's your rating? And then compared to other Fantastic Four movies, what's your rating?
Okay. First of all, just a quick note. I think this feels like the type of movie that's not just a self-contained film, but it's a setup for a franchise. So it feels a little bit like a lot of that intro that we got, maybe some of the slow pacing. I think it's because this is a film that's not as a standalone film, but it's there to be the first in a series, right? That's the name of the film. First Steps, I believe, in English, Premier Pas in French. So I feel that you have to consider it as something that's part of a franchise and not a standalone film because of that. So maybe as a film, I think I would have to go maybe like 7.5 as a film. It's not a super strong film. It's a good story. The characters are likable. That's beautiful, but there's some pacing issues that I think kind of keep it away from that top 80%, 90%. As a Marvel film, it's definitely one of the best Marvel films for sure.
Wow. Of all time, you're saying?
Well, of all time, we're talking about since Iron Man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Since the MCU started.
Yeah, it is one of the best ones. It doesn't have any of the woke problems to it. It has minor issues, but again, the minor issues I'm mentioning, they don't stop you from liking the film. Like the Ben Grimm is my favorite part. He's a good character. He's well-rounded. He doesn't have any progression in the film, but you don't need to have progression for every single character. Johnny, I thought was hot. But that's not meant to be a play on words, but like he's flirtatious with the.
Oh, come on. Okay. Frederick literally calls Johnny hot, and there's nobody in the chat calling him gay. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I'm
no, that was definitely very gay.
Very gay. You could have chosen a number of different ways to describe Johnny. No, I'm just saying, like, Everybody gets on my case and nobody gets on yours. That's fucking bullshit.
No, you thought he was hot, but then you also enjoyed his flirtatious nature.
So
that means you basically want to go on a date with him.
That's what it means.
No, I think it's hot when he's flirting with the Silver Surfer. He's like, she's this cosmic being that has no interest in him. You know, like most women we meet in the world, right? But he doesn't give a shit. He's still hitting on her, and he's still flirtatious with her, and he's still going to try with every chance that he's got. So, thank you, Art. So,
I thought it was very funny when he's like, I finally meet a sexy alien, and things like, stop calling her sexy.
Yeah.
Like, stop it.
I thought every character was very good, with the exception of Mr. Fantastic. I am very biased with Pedro. I don't like Pedro in the casting. I've gotten tired of seeing him overly present, cast in everything, especially things that are not necessarily fit with him. So that might be attributable to my bias. I'm curious to see how you guys felt he portrayed the role. But yeah, in the comics, Marvel, definitely like an 8 out of 10 minimum. I don't think it goes into the 9. Like, it's not that close to perfection. I would give like Superman a 10 out of 10. I think that's what I gave.
What's your favorite Marvel movie?
My favorite Marvel movie?
Yeah.
Probably Iron Man.
The very first one?
Dude, I love the simplicity of the story. The fact that he builds his own suit, like from ingenuity in his, in the cave as a pressure. He kind of turns the things around on the terrorists. And it's a reason why it kicked off the Marvel Universe. I think that one has kind of the nugget of just absolutely everything we love about superheroes in that one. And it's got an Ozzy Osbourne song at the end of the film. Like, it's just a perfect film to me, Iron Man. That one would be like 9.5 or 10.
You didn't feel like Endgame or Infinity War were up to that level?
I thought Infinity War came before Endgame, right?
Correct.
Okay, so Infinity War, I did like it a lot. I just think you're just throwing everything out there. So it's kind of an overwhelming thing. So they're good films. They're very entertaining. But again, I like the sort of smaller scale sometimes and the relatability with the characters, and not just when you throw everything out there. Now, they're great. They're still some of the best, but it's not going to be my favorite. I rather have a smaller story. Like, I really do like the Spider-Man films, although I find the Spider-Man films did not age as well as like something like Iron Man did.
The Raimi films?
Yeah, I love those films.
Oh, bro, you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we can differ on that, but I still love them. I just find that Iron Man is got something
wrong in the fact that they haven't aged well.
Correct. The Raimi films are like of movies that aged. Like, they're some of the best superhero films of all time.
Spider-Man 2 remains one of the best
3, not necessarily
movies ever made.
Yeah. I would say one is the best, like probably the best superhero movie ever made. And then 2 is
1 and 2 are excellent.
For me, it's the special effects in 1 that I find
Really?
Yeah.
Really? The
Yep.
special effects?
Yeah.
That's shocking.
When he's jumping on the big balloons, there's a lot of things that kind of looked a little bit dated in the CGI.
Yeah, but everything else though is just spectacular.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the reason why 2. I feel like 2 is the best executed of the trilogy, because even the visuals still hold up very well in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. I do love them. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just.
I never even noticed. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about when he jumps on the balloon during the.
And even the costume, like Spider-Man's costume in number 1, I don't think it's the best Spider-Man costume.
No.
Yeah, the eyes and
it's so good.
Yeah, but they're great films. I'm not shitting on them at all. It's just, if we're going to critique, those are
no
things that come up.
And you're welcome. You're welcome to your opinion. Obviously, we're all not gonna. The people on this panel are not gonna agree with each other on everything 100% about anything. So
I disagree.
I'm not trying right. See, I'm not trying to like your opinion's invalid, Frederick. I'm just like, it's a different opinion, and I'm shocked that you would say that about Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue. So, you've done as a film, as a Marvel film,
Yeah.
and then as a Fantastic Four film.
Oh well, as a Fantastic Four film, it's the best one. Like they've pulled off so much. Even Ben's beard, I thought, like a lot of things worked well in the context of the story. I've heard other critiques, like Johnny's face is not on fire here, things like that.
Well, the funny thing is, Frederick, on that note, this image that we're looking at is not in the final movie.
Yeah, I didn't notice that in the film.
What do you mean?
Johnny is actually all red and on fire in the actual film.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like him not being on fire there is not in the final film.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything like that in the film. Her superpowers with the rainbow effects, it's such a good way to represent invisibility.
It is. Yeah.
But this is stupid. Like him like running into the pillars and the building falls. That's very, cartoon.
And that the whole building now is those pillars are the ones that kept the whole building
it's
up.
like sending a plane in a building and having it crash,
But within the context of a movie, you're like,
exactly.
Okay.
It's a superhero film. It's Fantastic Four. You got to suspend your disbelief. Come on.
And that's a very small suspense of disbelief.
Yes.
I would say.
Yeah. So I love it. I think it's a good film. It could have been a great film. It could be improved, I think. But like for Fantastic Four, this is definitely going to set the bar for new Fantastic Four films. We now know it can be done. A lot of people were arguing, well, you can't really pull off Fantastic Four. The thing's too hard. And, especially Mr. Fantastic's powers, that was done so terribly in pretty much every other instance of Fantastic Four.
What, just out of curiosity, is there something that stands out to you from the other movies that you were like, oh God, this is horrible with his powers?
Well, just the stretching of Mr. Fantastic was just done so bad, like a close up of his arm where you could tell you could see the practical effects easily. You have to do it with modern CGI. I think that's.
Are you talking about the Roger Corman film? Because
maybe I don't know who did what. Like I'm not a Fantastic Four geek like you are, but I did see a few of them.
Well, I mean, like the one with Ian Griffith, the first Fantastic. So what most people consider the first Fantastic Four film with Ian Griffith, Michael Chiklis, Chris Evans, Jessica Alba.
That was the one that was the one that was kind of like leaked, and the only reason we saw it is that the one with the thing costume.
That was the Roger Corman film.
Okay.
The Roger Corman film was made in 1994, I want to say 94, 95, where all the actors were told, yeah, this is going to theaters and all that, and then at the end they were like, yeah, no, it's not going to theaters. But then there was the official Fox Entertainment Fantastic Four with Michael Chiklis, Ian Griffith, Chris Evans, Jessica Alba, and Julian McMahon, who actually is another actor or a famous person who passed away.
And I shouldn't have to say this, but I am definitely relieved that they did not do any race swapping within the family. Like I think in Josh Trank's version, they had a race swap. The
Franklin Storm,
Johnny
and
Storm,
Johnny were both black.
Yeah. So I'm so relieved, especially in this day and age, that they did the Fantastic Four right. This feels like the way to do it. My issues, like I say, are not with the interpretation of the characters. They're not with the special effects. It's just a little bit of editing stuff that kind of got to me with the pacing. Everything else, I think, worked really well.
So mostly editing wise, you're saying like just the beginning was too long and it could have been cut down.
Yeah, a lot of the scenes I was kind of like, okay, well, let's get to the next scene. Come on, let's move this along, and things to that nature.
Okay. Well, thank you, Frederick. Thank you. Carbon Heart. How did you feel?
Overall, this is a very good movie.
Was that? I'm gonna guess for a second that you were just swallowing like, I want to say tequila. Maybe that's racist of me, but I feel like you were drinking tequila.
No, it was water. Actually, I just had a sip of water.
Fuck.
You know. But I have told you in the past that I usually drink tequila, so that did come from somewhere.
Oh, because I thought I was just being racist there for a second, but
no, I've told you that
cool.
I usually drink tequila.
Well, that makes more sense then.
But anyway, yeah, no, this is a very, very good movie. Months ago, I told you guys I was looking forward to this and that I was even anticipating it more than Superman because...
Wait a minute. I thought you were one of those guys who was like, no, I'm not going to like this. Weren't you?
No.
I'm going to have to go back.
I never said that.
What
are you talking about?
I'm going to have to go
back.
I
always said that. Patrick, are you serious? I always said that I was looking forward to this and it looks good from everything I've seen.
But you said you were not looking forward to Superman.
That was me.
Well,
I thought I was going to hate Superman and love Fantastic Four.
Well, I thought you both were kind of like that you were like, Superman's going to suck, but Fantastic Four might be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I had mixed feelings about Superman. That's the way I felt about it the whole time. Okay. But anyway, to this very day, I feel like my expectations were pretty much met on both, where this is a better depiction of Fantastic Four than the James Gunn Superman movie is of Superman.
Yes.
In general. And I myself, personally, I'm a bigger fan of Superman in general than Fantastic Four. So if that's food for thought for anybody, that should be telling of the quality of this movie. This movie overall hit the mark. It was very impressive, actually. All the positives that Frederick mentioned, I agree with. Clearly, the visuals were very well executed. The plot, not to be too, I don't want to be too long-winded, so I'll focus on the biggest things. The plot was brilliant in this movie. The concept of having basically the main arc of the movie, it revolved around the baby. Around the fact, the beginning of the movie, you find out Sue's pregnant. That's the very beginning of the movie. So pretty much this movie revolved around her pregnancy, her delivering the baby in space, which was actually a pretty incredible scene. I thought that was brilliant. It was also very emotional and dramatic. The stakes of having Silver Surfer be threatening to the point where that shot where she was about to snatch the baby literally out of her stomach by phasing through her stomach was brilliant. I thought when I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's intense, you know? And then that led to the intensity of Sue saying to Johnny, kill her.
Johnny, kill her. Yeah.
She thought out to kill her, which is one of probably the only time in any of the
it's never said in a superhero movie
where it got that serious.
Yeah.
Where it's like
she's trying to take your nephew, kill her.
Yeah, we have no choice but to actually kill her right now. That was very good. And then the concept of Galactus wanting the baby for himself. I know this has been spoiled to death already. A lot of people have talked about it. But in the movie, the idea of Galactus saying that he basically is a slave to his hunger, to this will of simply devouring worlds, and by finding essentially a deity more powerful than him, that it'll allow him to be freed of that. I thought that was a very interesting idea. The concepts in this were greater than, more interesting than most superhero movies I've seen, actually. I love the nuclear family focus, the maternal nature of Sue Storm being a huge highlight in this movie. And as a result, it's essentially, the movie's not woke. People who have been saying it's woke, they're lying.
It's the opposite of woke.
Yeah, it's actually essentially anti-woke, because it occurred to me that in a sense, Silver Surfer is a bit of an avatar for feminism. And Sue Storm is the opposite. She's the avatar
Yes.
for a traditional mother and wife because of the fact that she followed through with the pregnancy. Her maternal instinct is above all in this movie. She'll she's not going to give up the baby to save the planet. There's no fake liberalism saying, oh, well, we need to help people. And there was no bullshit like that. I was like, no, I'm not giving up my child.
Yeah.
Like, you saw it in her face. It's like, get the fuck away from my baby.
That was the first thing she said.
Yeah.
She goes, what? No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that was
instantly.
very good. So in a sense, I like that traditionalism that's in this movie with the family unit. And so that's what I like about the plot a lot. And in terms of casting, everybody is saying that obviously Pedro Pascal was the weak point. I mean, that's pretty agreeable. But I will say this. I do believe that the bias against Pedro Pascal is what's making his performance seem worse.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that. Because as I was watching the movie, I was thinking about it. I was conscious of it. Like, I watched his performance. I was watching him, and I thought about it consciously, saying, is this a bad performance, or am I just thinking of Pedro Pascal as I see this, And then overall, by the end, I think that he didn't do a bad job. I think he did a decent enough job of the role. The interpretation, and let me elaborate on that. His interpretation, his performance of Reed was a little bit autistic. It was a little bit detached, right? So because he's a little bit odd, he's a little bit like removed emotionally, right? But at the very least, he still had this sense of strength to him because he was a strong husband to Sue. He was protective of her. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she needed him, when she was delivering the baby, he was there for her. He went, he held her hand and said, "I'm here for you. Don't worry."
He had other things to do as well at that moment. Like, he had other things that were demanding his attention, and he instead focused on his wife.
Yeah, and so he had a few moments like that where I said, okay, at least he's, the character is not weak. There was some strength in him. And there were a few moments where he actually showed some leadership skills, where he directed the team, like he directed Johnny a couple of times to take certain actions. Mm-hmm. And even with the second act of the movie, the whole purpose of the second act was to develop the plan to defeat Galactus, or to survive Galactus, essentially. I liked, some people complained about the chalkboard scenes and saying, oh, it dragged on. I enjoyed those scenes, to be honest. When he was thinking, and then, you see him pondering about it, he's beating his brains. I was with him. I was like, okay, I'm liking the fact that he's trying to deduce something, and that it's taking some time to get there. And I also like the moment in which Sue Storm said something that sparked the idea in his head, where she made that statement of, oh, I'll move heaven and earth. I think she used that like as a speech to the public, and then you saw his eyes light up, right? Like, the camera went on him when she said that. So then the idea occurred to him at that moment, we could do teleportation. So I liked that moment too. I thought it was the writing was clever in that sense. Obviously, it's not a perfect movie. Clearly, nothing is perfect. There are some flaws. There's some clear plot holes. If you want to rip it apart, you can go, oh,
tell us, what are the plot holes that you felt like you saw?
Well, some of the glaring issues are the fact that when they returned from space, it was ludicrous to tell the public that Galactus wants the baby and he'll spare the Earth. I was like, I laughed out loud when I saw that. I'm like, okay, like, this is absurd. You're the smartest man in the world, and you couldn't figure out that you shouldn't say that to everybody upon your return. That's absurd. And Sue would have been pissed at him for doing that. Like in reality, realistically, right after him saying that, she probably, her character would have been livid. She would have went, "Are you insane? Why did you just tell that to the public. Because as an adult, you have to learn how to lie sometimes. So that was silly because it's funny because you can eliminate the second act of the movie if he simply lied in that moment. If he said, right? Because if they went, oh,
You're right.
What did he say? He says that he's gonna eat Earth no matter what. So we have to stop him at any cost. He could have just said that, right? So that would have eliminated, the plot device of the people of Earth being mad at the Fantastic Four, because then they wouldn't be mad at them if he just hid that fact and not mention the fact that Galactus wants.
If he'd lied to them, yeah.
Yes, if he had lied, so it could have smoothed out the plot a little bit. But anyway, that was one flaw. Another flaw was even the teleportation of the Earth was like, it's like. I think he would have thought of teleporting Galactus first before thinking of teleporting the Earth.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
right.
fair.
Of the solar system.
Like send a spaceship up with the teleporter on it or something to go teleport his. Well, okay, but at the same time, in the movie, they do kind of address that to a degree.
Well, I forgive it. I mean, I thought the development of the actions and the thoughts in it were smooth. I enjoyed it. I don't find it to be problematic. But I'm saying when people are looking for plot holes, these are the things that you can criticize.
Yeah.
And people always try to find things that say, oh, this doesn't make any sense. And then the other biggest flaw with the movie was that in the final act, they did not stick. They missed the mark with Galactus's imposing nature. Once he landed in New York, once he landed in, on the Statue of Liberty, the island there, it was a big letdown. Not just visually, visually and also sound-wise. The sound did not feel giant. And also the broad daylight, it did not work for him. They should have had him in more, because obviously he looked more intimidating in darkness earlier in the movie. He looked great on the ship because it looked like more practical effects. Once he landed in New York, it looked like I was watching a video game, to be honest, which always, it kind of takes you out of it. I mean, albeit it was good graphics, but it looks like it's a PS5 video game. It's like, now I'm watching a giant CGI figure walking around the city, and I'm not really caring. They should have made him more practical looking. They really need to start incorporating more a mixture of practical effects. Like maybe just have his helmet, like his face be the actual actor. Like that would have looked more intimidating,
Well, they probably CGI'd him, with the dots and all that.
Well, yeah, obviously. But it always takes you out because some people feel this way. Once you get to the climax of these superhero movies, it's like, okay, blah, 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 here's the ending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
did you feel that way with this movie?
Towards the end, yes. Like once they're actually fighting Galactus, it's like, okay, here's the blah, blah, blah. They're fighting a giant CGI creature. Yeah, there's a little bit of figuring it out, but then it's like, I don't care about the fight. The fight to me was worthless. But I did, everything afterwards was dramatic. I liked the sacrifice of Sue, and then the baby Franklin resurrecting her. That was brilliant as well. That was a nice emotional moment. And so once again, I like the fact that the movie revolves around the child, from start to finish.
Yeah.
So, overall, very positive. Those were the only drawbacks, in my opinion.
Interesting. Well, now it's my turn.
I give it an 8.5.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So as a film, what do you give it, Carbon?
8.5.
An 8.5, even as a film in films in general.
Yeah, just in general, yeah.
Okay. And then as a Marvel film, what do you give it?
I don't know. It's hard honestly gauge. I mean, honestly, I would just stick with 8.5 across the board.
Okay.
That's kind of
And
just my rating.
as a Fantastic Four film, I'm assuming you've seen all the
well,
other
it is the best Fantastic Four movie. That's kind of hands down.
Okay. You said something about, gosh, what was it? I'll probably get to it. All right, so here's my review, folks. I'm going to start off with the worst things about this film because they're the things that actually don't stand out to me. They're things I had to like actively think about to be like, what do I not like about this film? Because I left the first time I watched it, I left and I was like, wow. Like that was something special. And then I went and saw it again and I still think it's something special. But there are issues that I have with it, and my issues are almost exclusively relegated to The Thing. I think that The Thing was the weakest member of the entire movie. I think that his voice sounds ridiculous coming out of that body. I think that he
You should go watch it in French.
I maybe should. And that's actually what I was going to say to you, Frederick, is like, you need to go watch it in English, not only for The Thing to see how different that is.
Because I saw it in the trailer. The trailer was pretty bad. The voice I really hated.
It's bad. It's the same thing. What you see in the trailer is the same thing.
Mhm.
And it's the Jamie Bell. He was the Thing in Fan Four Stick, the Josh Trank movie. That's what it is. It's just the Jamie Bell effect. Like, and I look, there are people out there who actually praise this aspect of it. I am going to say what I'm going to say right now, and I'm not trying to offend those people or make them think that I hate them or anything. All I'm trying to say is this concept that, oh, you know, his voice is higher pitched and it gives you a better indication of the man that's in underneath all that rock. Yeah, that's retarded. Like, that's stupid. Like, he sounds fake. When every time he talks, you're reminded that he's a CGI character. That's how I feel. Every single time he talks, you're reminded that this is fake and it's a cartoon, and it just does not work at all. Like, The Thing. In fact, I would go so far as to say that Evan Moss-Bachrach was not a good choice as the actor. Like, he was very bad as a choice. And I would say that because he's an actor. Like, he's a very kind of, you know, hoity-toity actor type that you would find in Hollywood and that surrounding area. And so that concept of, well, you can't lower his voice at all or make his voice any different. It seemed very Hollywood-esque to me. It seemed very like, well, it seemed like the same thing that happens in the Marvel movies where, excuse me, they must take their mask off every 10 seconds so that you can see the actor underneath the mask. Like, I don't care. Like, Robert Downey Jr., you're a great actor. Shut up and let me see Iron Man's face. Another one is Spider-Man. You know, Tom, whatever his name is, Tom Holland. Shut up. I don't want to see your fucking face. I want to see Spider-Man's mask. You know, and they had ways around that back in the old days when they were ingenious with things and made, you know, like, so Tobey Maguire, great actor. How do you show that he's having acting moments in those final few scenes with Green Goblin? Well, you destroy his mask. Like, you make him like messed up so that you have to see his face.
Yeah, that's cool. That's one of the
that's
best
sick.
parts.
That's cool. Now, that's what The Thing felt like to me, that they were like, essentially The Thing's entire existence in that movie felt to me like a bunch of middle-aged horny women who liked the bear wanted to see Evan Moss-Bachrach, and I don't like that. I think it was lame.
Well,
I think the
truth
Thing in
is,
general was lame, and that his character progression, I don't need him to have progression. I agree with you there, Frederick. I think you were the one who said that. That's fine, but he needs to be the Thing, and he needs to act like the Thing, and he doesn't act like the Thing, and he doesn't talk like the Thing. He's not really the Thing in this movie.
It
Can I
speaks
just briefly
volume.
comment on that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Just
want to add something
I'm
too.
not. Oh, go ahead, Frederick.
I was just going to say quickly, like, it's amazing because for me the Thing was the best part, and I think
know.
it's the dubbing. I think
I think so too.
made a huge difference.
Yeah,
Well, what I
That's-
was gonna say is that
Yeah.
in the end, though, if you really recap the whole movie, the Thing didn't have many lines, even
no,
in
no,
that
which
in the
is
movie.
fine.
Well, actually, that's an. I'm not actually. I don't want to interrupt your review, but anyway, as a result, since he had so few lines, I feel like it makes it more forgivable that, like, okay, the voice wasn't perfect, so like, but he barely even talks in the movie, so
That makes it less forgivable to me because
it
I
doesn't
want to
impact
see
the movie as much.
it impacted the movie a good bit for me. Like when we talk about like, is this the best Fantastic Four film? I have a hard time saying that. Technically speaking, everything else aside, yes, hands down, the best Fantastic Four film. But the Thing is so done dirty in this movie. He is so bad. His voice and now, okay, look, I will admit, like, does the whole movie need to be focused on the Thing? Because the movie is very focused on like Sue and Johnny, and that's okay. I like that actually. I think that's fine because every Fantastic Four story is focused on one or two of them, and that's fine. Like, I'm not going to get butthurt about that. It's not focused on Benji or it's not focused on Reed right away. Although even Reed was kind of really focused on. But Ben was he was not good at all. Like I honestly think that what happened in this movie was that they cast Eben Moss-Bachrach and they thought, we're just going to make some bear references, some cooking references, and that's going to make it all right for everybody. Can the Thing cook? Yeah, I guess, but that's not really his character. He doesn't gripe at all. He doesn't bitch at all. Like, he is constantly griping about shit in the Fantastic Four comic books. And if you guys were here with us when I was showing that, that video that I made, like, that's the Thing. Like, he constantly, like, Reed says something and he goes like, "Can you say it in English for us, please?" Like, that's the Thing. But this Thing was very like dour. He was very down. He wasn't excited about anything except for punching people, which were the good scenes with him when he and Johnny like interacted. Those were the best scenes. His interactions with Johnny were really great with him. But otherwise, that it was just a very like.
Well, he wasn't the focus. I mean, at the end of the day, right?
But even if
there was barely any focus on him in the movie.
Even if he's not the focus, the Thing acts a certain way. He talks a certain way. And this movie just didn't. What they did instead was they presented this actor and they said, "This is why you should be excited about the Thing, because of this actor's playing him." And I felt like that's the least exciting thing about the Thing. Like, the Thing is a fascinating, multi-dimensional character that they really just completely fumbled. And they could have done a much better job, but they did not. And that was my biggest problem with the movie, is that the Thing is not really the Thing. He's not even remotely close to the Thing. I mean, he's about as close to being the Thing as Jamie Bell was. That's my opinion. And that may be a hot topic, a hot opinion, but that's how I feel. Like that he was the perfection of the rest of the movie was sacrificed, or was attained through the sacrifice of the character of the Thing. And so I felt not, and the Thing is my favorite character of all time. So naturally I'm biased in a manner that makes me like, that's going to be the most important thing to me. However, the rest of the movie, let's start with villain, Galactus. Galactus was like unbelievable. I'm Like, I think that Galactus was the best part of that entire film. Like, I disagree with you, Carbon, that at the end it was kind of corny or whatever. Like, I think that I agree with you in that if it was done at nighttime, it probably would have been cooler. I agree with that. I think that's actually that's it's a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But everything else about Galactus, I thought was like, because he's a really tall purple guy. Like, how do you, with these weird fucking like, how do you make him cool and not just like kind of cringy and lame? And he was like H.R. Geiger terrifying. And like when they got onto his spaceship, and maybe you guys didn't notice this, but like for me, I noticed it instantly. His spaceship is like straight up Kirby tech in darkness. And it seemed like H.R. Geiger when you look at it. Like, you're just like, oh God, this is horrifying and terrible. If you paused, I feel like if you watch that scene when they're on his ship and you pause and you freeze frame it and you go through each thing, like, holy shit. Like the backgrounds, his ship was unbelievable. It was straight up Kirby tech. Like,
that whole scene was great.
Oh my gosh.
It's the best part of the film, honestly.
It actually probably it's so good and it's so terrifying and horror, like in a superhero movie, that where she's like Galactus. And when I'm looking at that, both times I watched the film, I'm looking at the scene, she beckons to Galactus and I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get like a midriff up shot. Because there's this giant area they're looking at. So we're just getting this midriff. And then the eyes, the sound effect of the eyes going, bam! Like, ooh, that was so fucking cool. And him like leaning, oh my gosh.
And you felt it in the audience. Like, I heard the children were reacting in the room. Like when his eyes lit up, people were like, whoa.
Yeah, it's it's kind of terrifying. It reminded me of Prometheus and Aliens, those scenes on his spaceship. Like that they're like, there's nothing you can do. You're totally fucked.
Like, well, he was intimidating there. That's what I mean.
Cool.
Versus, I didn't feel like he was intimidating in the end, where you could see him in daylight walking around. That's what I mean.
I understand. I felt like he was still intimidating. I felt like, I do agree with you though, that if it was nighttime, it would have been better. I think I agree with you there. And also, it's funny. My friends and I went with 3 of my friends to go see this, and we all like laughed out loud at the same part where Galactus, like he rolls up on Earth and then he like bends down, picks up some trees and starts smelling them. And it switches back to Johnny, and Johnny's just like we started dying. Like, yes, it's exactly it. It's so great. But I felt like even in the daylight on Earth, I felt like Galactus was a very serious villain. And I felt like, while most modern superhero movies have big, punch out, bash out fights between people, I felt like that fight between them and the Fantastic Four, him and the Fantastic Four, where he essentially just beats all of them super easily. I thought it was great. Like, I really, in my opinion, Galactus is the best part of the movie. I think Galactus was done so well, and it's hard to do a character like that. It's hard to make a character like that seem terrifying, and I think they did a good job of doing that.
Can I just modify what I said about Galactus a little bit, or clarify?
It's too late. It's already on the permanent record.
It's already done. Yeah. No, they pulled him off very well. I didn't say this. His design was awesome. He looked great. I liked the voice. So everything about him I liked. I guess I was hoping for him to look a little more like physically real at the end of the movie. Like those teaser shots that they did in the trailers where you saw his shadow over Manhattan, like it gave this sense of seeing like something physically real in the city, And so once I saw like his whole body moving around, and he looked like CG. I'm like, ah, God, like I wanted him
Huh.
to look practical, you know?
So maybe that's a lesson to be learned then, because certainly I felt like in the end, like the way he looked at the end, the last scene was acceptable. But you're right. In the back of my mind, I knew it was CGI. So is there a way to combine those two, like to like, how Power Rangers used to do when like, they'd fight the villain sudden, like you beat the villain and then he grows 300 times and then you've got a Mighty Morphin Power. You got to all come, you know what I mean? But you still know it's like regular sized folks inside of a fake suit. You know what I mean?
Well, it would be interesting to see how it would look if they
Yeah.
actually had a guy in the costume.
Has anybody ever tried that though? You know what I'm saying? Like, has anybody ever tried? Because I was going to say Galactus looked as a giant being. He looked as real as Godzilla from Godzilla. What is it? Godzilla Zero
-1,
which was, in my opinion, like the best. It's so far like the best. Like, oh, you're showing a giant character and trying to make it look realistic.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think Galactus looked very realistic as a giant character. But you're right. I mean, there was still, in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, this is CGI. So I wonder what that would look like to have I guess you'd have to like shoot it in like super high speed and then slow it down. If you're going to have like a regular sized person.
Yeah, and then even do post-production where you can like do the color correcting and even throw in CGI over it. I feel like that could work.
Yeah, I feel like it could too. And so it'd be interesting to see that for sure. I was convinced with Galactus. I felt like I wasn't upset with any, like no CG. At no point was I like, oh, this is kind of corny with Galactus. Galactus at every point seemed like very serious, very much of a problem. Ralph Ineson did a spectacular job. Like his voice was spot on. He was spectacular in that role. I've already talked about how I didn't like The Thing. Pedro Pascal. Frederick, I would encourage you to go see the movie in English because I think Pedro did a good job. I think that he really, like, is he the most perfect casting for the role? Not even close. But with that, with that in mind,
I'm probably going to hate The Thing more than Pedro.
Yeah, actually, you probably will. I think that. I really do think that. Pedro was actually, like, you can call him what you want for politics and all that. He's a really fantastic actor. Like, he's a good actor. And he did a great job as Reed Richards. He played the more modern Reed where he's kind of slightly autistic and completely emotionally distant, which it's a choice. I imagine that he was given, hey, do you want to play classic Reed or like more modern Reed? And him being him was just like, oh, I want to play more modern Reed, which makes sense. It's not offensive to me. It wasn't offensive to me at all. I thought that he played an intelligent man well. I think that I just think that he's a good actor. Like, and I separated in my mind, like, this is Pedro Pascal from the role. And so I feel like I was less upset with it as many other people would be. Vanessa Kirby, she's the best Sue Storm. I think she's the best Sue Storm. She's awesome. Joseph Quinn, he was a good Johnny. Although I've got to be honest, I've really come to love, what's his name? Chris Evans. I've really come to love his Johnny. I think his Johnny's more Johnny than most of the other Johnnies.
We associate him a lot with Captain America now.
We do, but he's a good actor. He can play Johnny and he can play Cap, and he plays them both like better than anybody else has. So,
which is kind of why the scene in Deadpool was so funny.
Yes, it is.
Well,
yes,
in the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four movie with Chris Evans, his Johnny Storm though didn't really have any kind of sensitive, emotive moments though, right?
No, But that's
This
a
Johnny,
lot
this
of the
Johnny had
writing
more,
of Johnny. You
but
know,
this
so-
Johnny had more range.
Yes. Yes. But I mean, that's, you know, that's different writers of the Fantastic Four. For the most part, like Johnny doesn't really have that kind of more. For the most part, Johnny's the fourth member of the group. You know what I mean? Whereas in this movie, the Thing was the fourth member of the group. If that
Yeah.
makes any sense. And I didn't dislike that at all. I thought Joseph Quinn did a great job. I really loved him like loudspeaker playing to Shala Bal all of the lamentations of the worlds that she's destroyed. I thought that was really cool.
His
I
character was very good in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Johnny being like, you know, he's a hothead and he likes the women and this, that, and the other, which leading up to this, we were led to believe that like Johnny's going to be a cuck. Johnny's going to be a loser, a gay guy. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff from all
the
this.
marketing was terrible. Like
No, I wouldn't say the marketing. I would say the like conservative influencers were terrible. They were all like, oh, it's going to be woke. It's going to be this, that, and the other. And Johnny's, you know, there was one thing I heard them saying. They were saying like Ben Grimm and Reed were dating in college and then they broke up and then Reed got with Sue. And I was like, if that happens, like I legitimately might consider burning down Marvel Studios wherever they're located. And
Dude, the amount of hate that the Zero Sphere is giving this movie.
Yeah.
Like Friday Night Tights and all those guys, Geeks and Gamers. It's kind of odd. Like I watched all of their reviews. Like
I did too.
Critical Drinker,
Yeah.
Mauler.
Yeah.
The entire
hated
Nerdrotic's review was the most fascinating, dude.
They also hated Superman, right?
Yeah, but that hatred I almost understood more than what they're saying about Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Because it's not making any sense what they're saying about Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And it seems very false, right? It seems very forced. Like I really think they're bullshitting with their
They're running on hate, right? They've got a hate machine.
That's it.
It's rage bait. It's pure rage bait now.
Yeah. And Fantastic Four must be bad for them to make to make money, rather.
To be relevant.
Right.
Oh my God, movies aren't woke anymore. What's the reason for their existence?
Dude, it's crazy. And the thinnest of strings that Nerdrotic is pulling to try to make you seem like certain things are bullshit and other things are not. Like I watched his whole, and it actually hurt me to watch his review. I watched it right after I'd watched the movie for the first time. Because I was like, okay, after I watched the movie for the first time, I was like, wow, I really, really, really loved that movie. Like, I don't feel so great about Thing's voice, but I really loved that movie. And then I watched his review and all the things that he's bitching about. And I was like, first of all, I was like, wait a minute. You're supposed to be like a comic book fan. Like, you don't understand that this is like par for the course for some of these characters. Like, oh man, I'm sorry. The thing, my problem, it's not a problem for me, is that when I hear things that I think are fucking retarded and I hate them so much, I like put them out of my mind. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to think about that. I don't want this to even be on my mind. And so, a lot of what Nerdrotic said is just completely out of my mind at this point, especially after seeing the movie for a second time. I went and saw the second, because I was like, I always feel like I have to see something. I have to experience any kind of art 2 times to really have an opinion about it. It could be a comic book. It could be a song. It could be a movie. So after my second viewing of the Fantastic Four, I can tell you, first of all, there's 2 instances of the word shit in that movie. Because I'm like thinking, like, can I take my nephews and nieces to this? 2 instances of the word shit and 1 hell. And other than that, the movie's clean as a whistle. No language, no sex. The violence is all, you know, you guys saw it. It was all galactic, you know, fake fantasy violence. No,
there's
blood,
a lot
no
of
gore.
nudity, like the Silver Surfers, like buck naked, like woo,
But
mom.
by the way, that's a really funny line. I laughed out loud, and I loved that line when Sue was Johnny was like, So I fall in love with some naked, cosmic being, and Reed's like, well, actually, she's probably covered in a polymer. Like, I was like, yes,
that was funny.
Perfect.
And one thing, watching it in French, also, you didn't have that clobbering time line. Like, the line doesn't make sense because in French they translated it is what he says is, "Oh, it's gonna hurt."
Oh
So,
no!
Yeah, because there's no equivalent for the clobbering time. There's no tagline. There's no tagline in French. So, I thought that was funny
It's gonna hurt.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
That's hilarious. They don't have a word for clobbering in French.
I don't think they do, but it's also the fact that it's probably not a tagline in the same way that it is in English as well. On top of that.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I gotta take a piss real quick, but Wrangler says I gotta run. Good night. God bless. Thank you for being here, Wrangler.
God
We
bless,
appreciate
Wrangler.
it. I'll be back in
Patrick, I
2
was
seconds.
planning on dipping right after our review.
Well, then let's do this. Okay, so my last thoughts on the Fantastic Four, which are going to be actually quite extensive. First, it was a huge, huge win of them to start the movie with, and I understand you guys don't like the recurrence of certain cinematic elements that you show it once and it should be done. I liked the interview stuff. I liked the ABC interview. I liked the fact that throughout the movie they reference all of the villains that the Fantastic Four have just kind of instantly trounced. Like, it's not even an issue for them. I love that. Mole Man was great. Although Mole Man was very much more modernized. Like, Mole Man seemed the most modernized of any of the characters in that film.
And the way they zipped through the origin, we didn't have to go through an origin story.
Loved it.
They just zipped it perfectly.
Loved that.
It's like, yep, we all know it. Yeah.
Yep. And then not only do they zip through the origin, but then later, like, the police, who, by the way, have apparently fantastic car designs, are going after people. And Reed's like, no, wait, I'm sorry. Because the baby's coming and I was just trying to get rid of who he said the Puppet Master, Diablo, Mad Thinker. There were a few other people. The Red Ghost they mentioned at the very beginning, and there was one other villain that he mentioned that was just like, okay, nice, like, cool, like, so you get to see that the Fantastic Four, like, you don't need an origin story. The Fantastic Four are already as good, like they're the best, and I think that was a huge plus to that movie. There's lots of huge pluses to this movie. The one being, like, no origin story. They exist. If you don't understand how they exist, sorry about you, but, like, they do. Second thing, it's an insular movie from the rest of the Marvel Universe. There's zero reference to anything else in the Marvel Universe, with the exception of Reed. At one point, he mentions that alternate universes exist. He says that once, and then that's it. And then obviously the spoiler at the end, but the spoiler at the end was really cool. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is that it's a very serious movie. Like, it takes itself seriously. Frederick, you said earlier that, like, I saw it in French, so there was no Marvel quippage. I can tell you that in English, there's no Marvel quippage.
Oh,
like,
that makes sense. Yeah.
It's not a Marvel quippage movie. Like, it's like those people in that movie take what's going on with them seriously. The least seriously they take it is when they're considering how to get Galactus, like, he's on their doorstep and they're trying to, and so they reference him as a space god. They're like, so you want to teleport a space god? That's the least serious that the movie takes itself.
Yeah.
When they call Galactus a space god. Everything else other than that, super, super serious. Like, the movie's a very serious movie. Which in a negative way, contributed to Ben being constantly solemn and dour, which he usually gripes and shits and jokes about things, so Ben Grimm in general was just not good for me in that movie. But every other character was played very well. Pedro Pascal did a great job. And there was one other thing I wanted to say.
gosh.
Anyway, long story short, I thought that it was, of the Fantastic Four films, it was the best Fantastic Four film, although not without its own problems. It's not a perfect film. It's not a perfect Fantastic Four film. It's almost a perfect superhero film. I would say that. So then, film wise, what do I give it? I give it I would say an 8.4 out of 10 as a film. Because it's very tight. It keeps everything, as a Marvel film, I would consider it a 9.0. It's not the best Marvel film in the world, but it's one of the best, if not the best, introduction to a character in Marvel film. And then as a Fantastic Four film, well, just for people at home, I consider Fantastic Four, the first one, an 8.2. I consider Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer an 8.2. I consider Finn Four-Stick it's like a 6.7. This one I would consider an 8.5 to 7. An 8.5 to 7 of a Fantastic Four film. It's almost perfect, but the Thing is such an important part of the Fantastic Four, and they botched him so horribly that it's hard. But everything else is perfect. And the retrofuturism is spectacular. The retrofuturism, that's going to win them the day with most people. It's so spectacular. It looks so beautiful. And I honestly think that it reaches out to an unconscious belief in the human soul that this is what things could have been if not for, and then we bring up all of our actual real life bullshit. But that technology, that retrofuturism, it was so beautiful. That made the movie. Without that, I don't think the movie would be considered very good by a lot of people, but it's there. So, long story short, ladies and gentlemen, I felt like the Fantastic Four in general all of my things averaged out. I would consider it an 8.7 out of 10. It was a very enjoyable movie. You should go check it out. Pedro Pascal did a spectacular job, despite the fact that he's a liberal faggot.
Who wants us all dead?
Who wants us all dead and wants us to treat his son or his brother like he's a woman. All that aside, I feel like if you love 60s Fantastic Four and one last thing before we end, I would like to say that Marvel did it right. At the very end of that movie, they said a special thank you to Jack Kirby. Not Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, just Jack Kirby. So, good job, Marvel. You did good there. I started clapping and other people started clapping with me when I saw that on screen.
Slow clap.
No, I was like, yeah, so great job. Anyway, that's it for us, ladies and gentlemen, on the COMICSGATE Commandos number something. I'll be back 2 months approximately from now. Carbon's going to take over. Frederick's going to be there with him. Immortal Rising is going to be there with him. Riley's going to be there with him. It's going to be a great time. Go subscribe. I'm going to post it. Hold on. I'm going to do this one more time because I want to. Carbon Heart 3365, right?
Yes. And I will be doing it on Wednesday nights for now.
Okay.
Even though once Patrick returns, the new night at that point will be Saturdays, but for now we'll continue Wednesdays.
The new / old night. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, just repeating that because he just said it. Join us for the COMICSGATE. Join them for the COMICSGATE Commandos on Wednesday night on Carbon's channel, which I've just posted right now. Please go subscribe, and they'll be streaming. You're gonna do 8:30 p.m. EST, I assume.
Yes.
Okay, so same time, Wednesdays, Carbon's channel, and it's gonna be a great time. Go like and subscribe. We're gonna say goodbye to you guys for the night. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. God bless. Godspeed.